Tifa?
Check.
Why do we, as collective humanity, accept being lied to by our washing machines for laundry and things like the estimate in public transport when the train or bus is supposed to arrive?
That is a really good point. I do not know. Parasites.
No. Here's what brings me to this issue. Tifa decided that we should still do a load of laundry before the stream. Which wasn't a bad idea because we do have a pile of towels laying around that needs to be washed. So Tifa threw it in on a program that was supposed to be done 25 minutes ago, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Plenty of time before the stream. I went to take my shower, I double checked the time on the washing machine as I got out and it said 24 more minutes. I was thinking, cool, so it's gonna be done 20 minutes before the stream. It got done 30 seconds before, so while we were setting up, we were also hanging up laundry. Which is annoying, because on one hand, we don't want to be late, but on the other side, you also don't want to leave your wet clothing in the laundry thing, like in the washing machine.
It starts to get muff and smelly.
Yeah, when it smells like me after I exercised and then I walked through rain and stuff.
Well, on the bright side, it was only towels, so it went fast. But funnily enough, my grandfather has a washing machine that calculates how long it takes based on the weight. And it's pretty accurate. Like if you do a 1 hour program and you only put 2 towels in it, it will shorten the time because it doesn't need as long.
Okay, fair enough.
And if you like overload it, it gives you a warning that it's too full and you need to take things out. And like with us, where it will just go on and then it's like,
yeah.
Panic!
Ours will try to do its job no matter what, even if it breaks in the process, which is kind of what happened the last time we had to finally get it fixed after having that thing for like 10 years. Fair is fair. It lasted for 10 years without any proper maintenance.
That is true. We didn't do anything with the thing. But the time is really frustrating and I do not know what that depends on.
I think at some point, Tifa, if we ever win the lottery, we need to go buy one of those really smart washing machines.
With Wi-Fi.
With AI and Wi-Fi.
I still find Wi-Fi so unnecessary for my washing machine.
Yes. Especially if you have no internet, your washing machine doesn't wash.
No, it does.
Do they? Does it? I wouldn't know, I don't have one of those.
No, it does. From what I looked up, it's basically so that you can control your washing machine through an app.
But
you need to go through to the machine anyway, to put your stuff in, to set it up.
I guess it makes sense if you do turn it on and then quickly go shopping or something like that.
But why do I need to look at it through the app then? What
because
am I
I'm
gonna
not
do?
at home.
And then I see it's done. And then you go home and stop your shopping?
And then I call you to tell you stop playing video games, go unload the laundry. That makes sense to me.
Well, apparently that is the reasoning for Wi-Fi, so that you can control it through an app. But it does work without. But I agree that hell freezes over before I buy a washing machine with Wi-Fi. Also, hi back to you, Psycho. How
Welcome, Psycho. Hello, everybody, as a matter of fact.
How you all doing? It still seems very unnecessary. But if the time is then correct, who knows?
Yeah, that...
I don't know if that solves the problem.
I didn't even say hi yet. I was so in my head about the washing machine lying to us. I don't understand why the time is so wrong. Because we have one of those old school washing machines. And you set a program and then you can shorten it or you can make it longer. You can fine tune a little bit. There's like 5 buttons in total and a dial. And then it goes, okay, I'm gonna wash your stuff at this temperature for this long and then I will do the spin cycle at this speed. and then I'm done. And I will take an hour and 9 minutes is usually the one I go for when I wash stuff. My chair is breaking underneath me. But no, the 1 hour 9 minutes is a heinous lie. And I don't know why. I mean, I understand. On one hand, hear me out. I do like that the machine realizes, no, I still need a moment. I'm not done yet. This is gonna take longer.
Yeah, but ours shouldn't be that smart. Like you
But
said, it's over 10 years old.
It shouldn't stay on. It still takes 9 minutes for 9 minutes. And only then count down. Then just tell me it's 18 minutes in the beginning. And then count down from that.
But it is 100% like public transport. Yesterday I was waiting for the train and it's like 4 more minutes. I go, okay, 4 more minutes. Then 2 minutes later I look up and it's like 6 more minutes. Okay.
That can't be.
6 more minutes.
Especially if you're in a place where they have one of those signs that also tells you when the next ones are coming. And I'm always sitting there thinking, how are they moving but the train I need isn't? Then again, of course, there's different tracks and stuff, I guess. Same with buses, they can overtake each other and stuff. It's an open world out there, they can move somewhat freely.
I like how you tell me I'm lying and then go into a completely different story.
Lying about what?
You said it cannot be.
What cannot be?
That the time moves up, because it does. It does that several times.
And no, Tifa, not you are lying, the timer is lying. The timer cannot be.
I was gonna say, at least explain why then, so that you can go complain to public transport that this absolutely cannot be.
Tifa gets mad about me being mad about things. I'm sorry, hun, I guess. I'm not sure how I caused this fight, but I'm sad and...
I was probably lying about looking up 2 minutes later again, because it was probably like 30 seconds, but still felt like forever.
It felt like that, yeah. No, I understand that. Anyway, washing machines are evil.
It really
This is how arguments start. It is.
No. He is how arguments start. Other than that, I have nothing. It's been so boring in public transport.
Tifa betraying time-honored things like recaps is how arguments start. Honey, I was calling the barn stupid, not you, barn being trained in German. Yes. It reminds me of, oh god, what was it from? I think it was some British television show where they had these like cuts to people watching things on TV and then reacting to them.
Oh yeah, shit, what is it called? The Box? No, did you know?
I have no idea.
The Box.
But if I can find it after the stream, I need to write this down 1 second.
It was basically the start of reaction videos.
Kind of.
Because this was like years ago. You basically have your standard TV show, or your reality TV show usually, and then you watch people watch the reality TV show. It's basically reaction videos, but...
Kind of. But there was a clip where it's an old couple and he is watching TV or reading a newspaper or something, and he goes, "Oh, he's quite the asshole." And then the wife goes, "Oh, Jonathan, I don't like it when you use those words." And he's like, I am only reading the newspaper. This is what it says. Oh, then it's okay. And he keeps reading this article or repeats what he sees on TV, and he keeps saying a entry tier curse word every now and then. And every time she gets like frustrated, I'm like, "No, I don't like it when you curse like this." He's like, "Oh, but I'm just saying what he was saying." That's the same energy. That's the same energy of I'm saying the laundry machine is lying to us, and then TV goes, "Are you saying I'm lying?"
No, but I say A, and then you say that cannot be.
Yes, I was arguing alongside you, not with you in particular.
Aren't you? You never know. It didn't seem confirmative enough.
Con what?
Fun.
Is that a word?
Confirmative. Yes, it is.
Confirmative.
Bestätigung.
What? Tifa, stop looking at the AI shit. Still using Google Chrome.
Tending to confirm.
Conformative, not
No, that's the wrong
confirmative.
word.
Yeah, exactly, because confirmative doesn't exist.
Confirmative is an actual word. No. I was looking for confirmative, psycho. 100% that is a word. I'm gonna Google this myself.
You're now watching two people looking up a word that one of them believes exists and everybody else knows doesn't.
It absolutely does.
Confirmation is the other, exactly. Affirmative, confirmation.
The word confirmative is an adjective that describes something tending to confirm, so like establishing the truth or something else.
It's actually in the Wiktionary.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's in the Merriam-Webster as well. Confirmative.
Tifa actually won this one. Tifa, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Enjoy it. This is your one moment.
English is now my first language.
No. Great, now my meme idea doesn't work. Do it anyway. I'm more than happy to pretend that she got it wrong. Still posting more. Yes, please. Yes. You went all the way to have the idea. Might as well go through with it. I appreciate that. I fully appreciate that.
I'm just saying. Totally correct.
When I'm not mad about timers on machines lying to me, today I will probably blink a lot because yesterday and today I had the glorious task at work to investigate some data from a system, and that required me to read like 4,000 rows of an Excel spreadsheet. And when I close my eyes, I still see the table. Like I see the outline, everything. It's like burned into my retinas. I'm surprised I can still see things. What was Tifa's word again? It was confirmative. There you go. I put it in quotation marks because that's not a real word.
I'm quite sure you've heard that so often. Confirmative.
Affirmative. Confirm.
Confirmative. That is absolutely used.
No.
Then why do I know it?
Because between the left side of your brain thinking affirmative and the right side of your brain thinking confirmative. Confirmative.
Nobody says
Sorry,
affirmative.
confirmation. You understand what I was trying to say.
Nobody says affirmative.
Tifa, I challenge you to find me a single piece of English spoken media where a character uses the word confirmative, unironically.
I feel like you can't really challenge me on these things either way, because you always lose at Scrabble, plus snake words. What's the game called we sometimes play online? Where you need to make new words with the last letter?
Shiritori, I believe.
Or Shiritori. Plus you always lose at that as well.
Shiritori is a Japanese word game where players take turns saying a word that begins with a final sound, in our case letter, of a previous word. So if I say snake, Tifa could follow up with
Essen.
is a city in Belgium, because we're totally speaking English, so Tifa wouldn't throw in the German word for food.
Evermore.
Ends with an E again. Then I would go with eloquently. And then Tifa would follow up with
Yellow hammers.
which is one of the words that gives you the most points in that online thing that we use today. Shiritori is fun when you're sitting at the airport waiting for your flight. I think that's about the only time we ever play that.
Yeah, that is true. But we've played Scrabble a few times too.
That's true, and I've lost 90% of games.
Yeah.
Not because of skill though.
No, at this point it has to be skill.
No, it's a matter of luck. Because I cannot control which words you're gonna put down, and I cannot control which letters I'm pulling.
Yeah, I cannot control that of you either, and still I win the majority.
I don't believe that is to be in the confirmative, Tifa. Posted. Thank you, Psycho. Thank you. I will look at it after the stream and I'm pretty sure I'll appreciate it more than confirmative. I'm gonna take another sip while I hope that Tifa gears up for the recap that I'm gonna launch into in a moment.
I can do a recap.
And when I say I launch into it, I of course mean that, hey Tifa, what has happened the last time we played Higurashi When They Cried Chapter 8, in the final stretch, Matsuribayashi?
The last time we played Higurashi, we started Chapter 8, and we kick it off being at the perspective of Takano, where we learned that she grew up with her grandfather. Actually, no, let's skip the beginning part and...
We learn that Takano was effectively raised from a young age by her grandfather Hifumi Takano,
who's not her actual
is
grandfather.
a scientist apparently. After last time you don't have any rights about this anymore. Who is apparently a scientist, and he has come up with a grand thesis that Jack is yelling at Tifa because Tifa is being annoying on purpose again. The thesis is that individuality, free will, doesn't exist. Basically, we're all parts of a hive mind. We're all being controlled by a parasite in our brain. Whichever parasite you have decides what you do, basically.
I wanted to make the recap make sense, because the order doesn't make sense.
Hifumi believes also that God will return at some point, which seems to be more of a metaphor for you can attain immortality if you do something great and it is being recognized beyond the point of your death. It seems a bit strange, but it relays back to the end of chapter 7, where Takano attains godhood through becoming the curse of oyashiro-sama. That's her words. Anyway, it cuts back into a previous flashback from her perspective, where she loses her father. Her mother and her dad were in a train accident, I think it was.
Car accident, train accident.
Some horrible accident. She has one last short conversation with her dad, who is about to undergo a procedure, and he tells her, "Your whole family is dead. I'm dying right now, probably. If anything happens to me, go find my old boss, Hifumi Takano," telling us that Hifumi isn't actually Takano's grandfather, and her last name probably isn't Takano. She is adopted by him. Cool. And after that we go into a lengthy stretch of story of Takano in her teenage years at some point.
Well, the
where she's
whole
in an
order
orphanage.
doesn't seem to make sense, because I'm
Correct.
assuming first her parents die.
Yeah.
Then, because there's no record of Hifumi Takano and
Yes.
they have no phone number, contact details, I'm guessing that's when she lands in the orphanage. That's where we just have a skip, and I'm assuming at some point
She
they
ends up
find
with Hifumi.
Hifumi,
Or she
and
finds
that's
him.
when she gets out of the orphanage,
Possibly.
lands there, but that's not really clear. After that, though, we have a skip.
The orphanage part is the orphanage part is the most important part, because it once again cements that horrible things are happening to Takano's life in her childhood, especially. Because the orphanage she ends up in is horrible. They seem to torture and even kill children. So they hatch the plan to escape to the House of Love and Mercy, which is a different orphanage across the river.
A name we wouldn't forget soon.
Eventually, they make a break for it. They run. Takano gets out. A guard runs after her. He tries to grab her. She bites off his finger in the struggle, spits it out, runs, passes out, and then she wakes up near the end of chapter 7 as she enters the Control HQ vehicle car and asks for a coffee.
And basically, current time Higurashi.
Yes. I believe this entire chapter is set up to make us feel bad for Takano, which at face value, I'm very I'm very sorry that all of these things have happened to young, impressionable Takano. But by the time the Higurashi story happens proper, she is old enough to know better and not to do this shit. So Am I sorry? Would I love to rescue young Takano? Yes. Adult Takano can fall down the stairs for all I care. I wouldn't piss on her if she was on fire.
After that, we have another skip to a convention in a hotel where Tokyo is holding speeches together with politicians.
The shadowy organization, Tokyo.
The anti-Japan teachers are brainwashing our current generation and we need to put a stop to this.
Is what they're saying.
And that's basically where we left off.
Yes. See, if you just do the recap in the order it happened in the game, you don't need to think how you piece it back together, you just relate to our wonderful audience how it happened in the game.
Yeah, but that doesn't really make sense, plus even series don't do that.
If it was good enough for Ryukishi to publish it like this, it's good enough for me to relay in a recap.
Well, personally, I don't think the order makes sense. And like I said, even in series, in situations like this, they change up the order of the recap.
Tifa, there was a time where I was really proud of the quality of your recaps. Lately, you are a disappointment. Yesterday was a 0 out of 10. Today, it started at a 5. Anything under a 6 is not a passing grade and I will interrupt you like this.
Well, I'll take it. 5
You shouldn't.
5 into that.
Ohana means family. Yeah, not in the Hifumi/Takano family.
Ohana means family.
Is that your Stitch voice?
I can't do a Stitch voice. I tried, I guess.
Do it again.
What? No, can't do that on command. That's not how it works.
You just did it on command. I just didn't say it, you made yourself.
No, it doesn't work.
How dare our little piggy banks escape? Yeah, that was kind of confusing to me because I'm a stickler for words.
Except
First.
for confirmative.
First, we were told by young Takano, or Takano, flashback Takano, that she ended up at a private orphanage and those don't get government funding. They just do it for the love of, raising children that are in a tough spot. But later on she goes, well, this place gets money for every child that they have here, so that's why they go out and recapture the children that have run away. Just like, both make sense, just pick one. If you say it's fully privately funded, okay. If you say government kicks in some money, cool, but it cannot be both.
Well, as a kid, you probably don't know.
Well, then how did she know during the text? Exactly.
I don't know, guessing.
No, I don't think so. Tifa, are you ready for some more Higurashis?
I am ready.
I should load first. Doo-doo. Here we go. I need to explain a bit about this banquet before you misunderstand. It wasn't the conference of a political association or a lecture by a political candidate. It was hard to believe, but this was nothing more than a meeting of colleges. What? As I was reading, I was beginning to understand and it made me angry. It was hard to believe, but this was nothing more than a meeting of a college's alumni association. Everyone should be familiar with what those are. Has never been to a college.
I feel called out.
Are you not an alumni, Tifa? Whether it's elementary school, junior high school or college, once you graduate from one of those, you normally belong to an organization of alumni. You receive invitations for reunions where you enjoy talking about the good old days.
It's like, what was it in the Shenmue games? The tree...
No, this is not about the three blades, Tifa. This is a class reunion.
You get assigned to a blade. That's how you
No,
get to see it.
that's a class reunion. What are you talking about? People go to an education together, they finish their education, and then every now and then after they hang out. It's a reunion.
And why do they have to say it's so difficult? Everyone is assigned to a class that can have a reunion.
Because classism. Yes, this is fancy people talk.
Affirmative.
Also, never been to college, never been to university, never been invited to any school reunions. I assume they happened, but I couldn't tell you for sure because I never got invited.
It can be worse. I know there were school reunions, and I know people who I haven't been, or I know it happened because someone told me about it.
After the fact.
After the fact, I was never invited. But
Okay.
I could have been because I did back then have the people who organized it still on Facebook.
Okay.
So I was just skipped.
Accidentally. Of course, accidentally.
Yeah, of course.
Probably same with me.
I only got along with 2 people in my class back then, so not that it matters.
I don't think I would have wanted to go either, but it's a matter of, hey, we're doing a thing that involved everybody, so we should invite everybody, I think. If I was in charge of taking care of this, I would invite everybody, you know? Even if I knew they wouldn't want to come, it's still nice to invite.
I also think reunions aren't that big of a thing. The only thing, or the only place where I know that is a big thing is in Japan.
Have you heard about the USA? That's also more of a thing there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
I know from childhood that class reunions exist because of American television.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair.
And then later on I learned that they actually exist here too, and then I realized I've never been invited.
But it's not as big of a thing.
A lot of my colleagues tell me about them like every other year, yeah.
Other than mine back then, I've never really heard of reunions or stuff happening.
Oh well. I would go to a reunion over my dead body. Fair. But
fair.
you would still expect to be invited, right? Or at least I would. Yeah. However, there are many different types of such organizations. Some are simple and some are united with much tighter bonds. Once an organization becomes united with those tight bonds, it's no longer a simple organization of alumni. Rather, it becomes a significant faction known as an alma mater clique. Are those real words? In Japanese society, it's traditional for graduates to form tighter bonds that go beyond the level of an organization. Also, the more superior the alma mater, the stronger the tendency holds true. Oh, it's like those jokes like, how can you tell somebody went to Harvard? Yes. They tell you.
This sounds like university clubs where you try to get into the most...
elite schools?
Not the elite school, the most elite university group. I don't know what they're called anymore. You know when...
Fraternities.
Yes, that.
Are those still a thing?
Yes.
I only know about them because every now and then you read about a case where they had some fucked up hazing ritual, which was really just sexual abuse and torture. And when somebody died accidentally from, I don't know, being force-fed a shit ton of alcohol and then they made them do stupid things. And everybody is shocked Pikachu face. How could an accident like this happen?
We actually had several of those cases not too long ago in the Netherlands go to court.
Oh, shit.
And they were all caused by people who are considered to be our next generation of politicians. So, things are looking good.
Yeah, but they were young and stupid, Tifa.
Mm-hmm.
You can't expect a 20-year-old to understand that consuming 4 bottles of hard liquor would do something bad to somebody.
Basically.
This reminds me, oh my god, I think it's been like a decade or longer already, but there was this video on the internet at some point. It was a guy who I think would film himself just drinking hard liquor, like the whole bottle of whatever it was. And a bunch of people would watch him and it would escalate from there until I think during some video he drank like one of those big bottles of like hard vodka or something. Like, okay. I mean, all vodka is hard liquor, but one of the even more high alcohol proof ones. And he died after that. Alcohol poisoning.
I think it happens more often than you think.
Like, why? Just, I mean, are there people that don't know that if you drink a lot of alcohol in too short of a period of time that you will die from it?
Yeah, no, that doesn't really happen. Or they don't really care.
But what do you mean they don't care?
Yeah, they don't care, or they don't think about the consequences. They just make it as horrible as possible.
Tifa isn't looking away to be incredibly rude. That's what it felt like to me at first. Tifa's looking something up. I was confused when I'm talking to the back of her head, but...
I'm just checking about some of the cases where they died during these what's it called?
Hazing rituals.
Hazing rituals.
I believe is the right term. So I never quite understood that. Like, hey, you want to be part of this group, so we will treat you like utter shit. And only if you get through that, then you can be our friend. Like, what? Imagine if you wanted to go to the supermarket to buy your groceries, and when you come in, the staff just gets to beat the shit out of you. And only if you can still walk afterwards do you get to buy a bread. Make it make sense.
Basically.
Yeah. The Imperial University, one of the best universities in the country, is... Why is my nose so itchy? Because it makes me unable to read. I think it's because of the bad quality recap, Steve.
It started off great. You just interrupted.
The Imperial University, one of the best universities in the country, is famous for the deep bonds its graduates form. Why do superior people like to bond?
It's all about the connection.
I'm sorry. Superior people. That... Yeah, no. It may be because they take pride in being superior, but more than that, maintaining connections is the most significant reason. All Imperial University graduates are elites in their respective fields. Richer equals better human when you duh. Yeah, obviously.
That's
Clearly.
widely known.
I love... No, let me restart. One of my favorite genre of posts anywhere on the internet is when people who are completely average in their income, or maybe even below average in their income, jump to the aid of defending billionaires and corporations online. Like, I don't know, Nintendo is the greatest company of all time because I like their video games. Don't you dare say anything bad about Nintendo. It's like, do you really think the company gives a flying fuck about you? They don't even know you exist. You're just a customer.
I feel like Nintendo is a slightly bad example because they often do good things for their employees.
And I'm not talking about employees, I'm talking about just random people.
Fair enough. So like me defending Nintendo right now.
If you now went, oh, we shouldn't talk bad about Jeff Bezos because he created jobs. Yeah, and people died in those jobs. So go fuck yourself. That's not good. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's like I did just now.
Yes. Thank you for joining the conversation after it ended.
What? We're in the middle of the conversation when I confirmed that.
We will need to adjust our wavelength later. So defending big companies makes people think they're part of something bigger? Interesting theory, actually. I don't know what goes on in these people's heads. Even simpler, if you go online and you go, I don't like popular video game. I don't care for GTA 6. People will come and attack you. And I don't understand that. Like, what part of your life depends so much on the thing we're talking about? And why can't I have a different opinion about it?
Sometimes you feel passionate about something.
Yeah, but then you can go... I don't know. So you don't like the game I like. Because it implies there's something wrong with you for liking it. Or something. Does it though? Because I don't care for the GTA games. I think they're fine, but the gameplay loop I find really boring. Usually it's like, go to a place, get told to drive somewhere else, watch a cutscene, shoot somebody, drive to another place.
Basically every MMO.
yeah, you can do this for everything. Every game at some point turns into a gameplay loop, and either you like it or you don't. That's perfectly fine, but I probably just offended a couple thousand people by saying I don't really care for the GTA games. Sorry, please enjoy it by yourselves. Anyway.
I'm not sure what point you were getting at from the game, but yeah.
That people defend things that make a lot of money, that they have no stake in, other than they know about this or they consume the product.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thanks, great input. They're likely to succeed and become important people. When they do, the unity of the alumni association gains immeasurable meaning. In fact, even today, the Imperial University graduates maintain their tight academic clique. They hold great influence throughout many different fields. They interact with other universities as well, so the graduates' bonds are extremely tight, even today. Additionally, while Imperial University usually refers to the University of Tokyo, sometimes it's used to mean all 7 major universities in Japan. They are located in Tokyo, Kyoto, Tohoku, Kyushu, Hokkaido, Osaka, and Nagoya. They're all great schools. There happens to be an organization of alumni that includes all of those 7 universities. The elderly gentlemen in this banquet room were each from one of those organizations. However, not every graduate would get an invitation here automatically. It is a society of select gentlemen, and in order to become a member, one must first fulfill several conditions, such as a recommendation from an existing member, contribution to the society, possession of status, and so forth.
How do you prove possession of status? By your job?
No, people will tell you.
Family standing?
No, people will tell you. You usually know about influential or wealthy people. Whether you want to or not, it's just gonna happen. You know who Elon Musk is, whether you want to or not.
Fair enough. Would I? Well, yeah, he is a person of status, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, fair.
It's just about status.
Yeah. True.
Therefore, all the members are important people from different fields, and obviously the power of this organization is of a political nature. But there's one very...
What? That was your stomach?
Yes, but I can see the flickering in my...
You're thrown off by your own sounds.
No, by what I'm seeing. Listen to my words.
Excuses.
Thank you. But there's one more very important criterion one has to meet to join. Strong patriotism. A heart that longs to contribute to Japan in its rebirth. As a result, we're being raided by Ranger.
Ranger.
Love. Thank you for it.
How was wrestling?
We were 2025. We were WWE. You were playing a wrestling game and it confused me a lot because I don't know anything about wrestling. But I was able to watch for like half an hour.
I know all about wrestling.
Okay, tell us. Give it, Tifa, please, give us a recap on wrestling so far. Go.
Well, you have 2 people in a ring who wrestle each other. That's the quickest recap I can do.
I think that's wrong on basically every level.
Fine, a minimum of 2 people. Also, Benjima, how are you doing? Enjoy your food. See? I know all about it.
Or more. I'm pretty sure there's also at least been one match where somebody wrestled against themselves. As some sort of storyline or something. Like I'm wrestling with myself when Tifa does bad recaps. I lose, by the way, to myself. When a mommy and a daddy love each other very much, but both want to be world champions. Vince McMahon beat God once, or sometimes just one person, apparently. Welcome in, everybody. Any more deep cuts from your wrestling expertise, Tifa?
No, I think I summed it up already.
I don't know what it is with you today,
And they like big belts.
Tifa, but I think verbally, just verbally, you peaked at confirmative.
Not confirmative. Unconfirmative.
No, I'm saying you peaked there.
Yeah,
because
and I'm denying that.
After that, when I was trying to have conversation, you were like, huh.
Yeah, because I didn't really follow your point.
Thanks. It's okay. Perfectly fine. You're just sitting next to me.
That doesn't mean I need to follow your point. That doesn't happen by being in close proximity.
You would think that at some point I just turn it on as well and I ignore what she's saying, but I'm not that much of a douchebag. It's funny, people always think I'm the dick. No, it's actually her.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do not agree.
This is the equivalent of I'm going to take out the trash and Tifa is standing there in the doorway smoking, and when I try to come back inside she trips me. I'm beginning to feel my back because I feel like I'm carrying and I don't know why.
We all know these are lies because Jack doesn't take out the trash.
I do walk you every now and then.
That is true. But then my point still stands. I come back.
It's true. That's the drunk uncle's music. What? There's Dad with a steel chair.
Yeah, that works.
Now I'm beginning to imagine my dad coming in like wrestler style, like with a steel chair. Can't quite picture it.
Your dad as a wrestler would look like Nacho Libre.
Yeah, pretty much.
100%.
Except none of the coolness.
That's coolness, but same build.
Yeah.
Same size, probably too.
Not sure about that, but definitely same build. I want to get that image out of my head. Why don't I have anything other than tea to drink here?
I have some water for you that I'm willing to share.
No, that's not quite strong enough. Alright. We're talking about better people. As a result, this organization has become extremely nationalistic. Up on the stage, the candidate for prefectural governorship was still talking passionately.
Go make yourself some tea, Ranger.
Please do and enjoy your lunch. Thank you for the raid, but if you need to go take care of stuff, please do.
Have tea with lunch.
Or lunch, tea, lunch again, tea again.
That always works.
Exactly. Real quick, the candidate for the prefectural governorship was still talking passionately. Could the person I spoke last stream be the Sonozaki governor?
You think? I
What?
do not know. I don't think so.
I don't know.
Wouldn't they have said his name then? Because it's a character we know.
I'm not sure.
Because they keep going with the
Yeah, maybe that's why they went.
Yeah, but they do that in every tip where the name doesn't matter.
It wasn't a tip, it was the next chapter.
Yeah, but I'm
Sorry,
saying they
episode.
also do that in tips where the name doesn't matter.
Beginning to think maybe there's a reason for that. And among those elderly gentlemen in the crowd, Takano can be found. Takano seemed used to this kind of conference and seemed unsurprised at anything that was said. But at the same time, she looked rather fed up with it. As she was in attendance, she must have been one of her members. Which meant she possessed not only an extremely excellent academic background, but that the older gentleman here had not acknowledged her equivalent contributions to society and that she possessed strong patriotism.
Wanna bet that Hifumi is a part of this and has recommended her into it?
Yeah, or she's there as his +1 depending on when this happens. However, her academic background was the only qualification she had met to join. She was only able to join as a special case because of her connections. She didn't even hold prejudiced ideas like the other members did. So why was she here today? Probably because of the same reason as the man giving a speech up on the stage. The man on the stage didn't actually have prejudiced ideas, much like Takano. He only prepared a speech that he knew the guests would like. Politicians only want votes. Each and every person has a vote, but appealing to each one of them takes too long. So the most efficient way is to appeal to organizations with a unified idea and a unified will. In other words, this man was giving this speech so he can garner support from those powerful people. Okay, hot take, but if you choose to be a speaker at this Nazi event, therefore you effectively suck Nazi dick for votes, that makes you one of them. Just my 2 cents. You ignoring my part of a conversation again, or
I nodded.
This is effectively a solo stream.
Well, I don't have anything to contribute to it.
Fine. We'll get there, don't worry. The elderly gentlemen in the banquet room will then do their best to support him, since he appears to share their ideals. They can offer many different kinds of expediency, support and assistance. To an outrageous degree, I might add. If the day's event continued the same way, the organization would likely decide to officially support him. They will probably give him a great deal of financial aid. Wouldn't be the first time that the leader of an organization doesn't really believe in the cause and is only in it for the power. Tale as old as time. Yes.
I mean, it's how positions like team leaders and stuff work as well. You always have to sell an idea that you're not necessarily behind with, but someone is telling you to, or you have to say this shit to get the support of the masses if you want to continue.
I hear you, but at the same time, if you're willing to say those things to get to that point, that makes you a specific type of person. And if you're willing to say things that you don't stand up for and that you don't believe, that's not you talking on stage. And the moment I learn that, I don't want to support you. I'd rather hate you for the ideas that you have than love you for the ideas you pretend to have. Or ideals, not ideas.
I disagree that it's not you on stage, because it does show what type of person it is.
That's what I mean. That is exactly what I mean. If you're willing to go on stage and verbally fillet these assholes, that means you are at least okay with doing that. Even if it's just for your own gain.
But it's politics. I 100% believe there isn't a single politician alive even now that 100% believes in every crap he spouts in an interview or on stage.
That's how it should be, well.
Yeah, but not gonna happen.
No, I agree, but that's how I wish it was.
Because you always want to keep the majority of the masses on your side. Because you want to be elected. You want to stay in the position you are. So you can't piss off everyone by saying what you might truly believe. There's a reason why they call certain things politically correct.
No, that has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it's also used as an expression.
Yes, but politically correct has nothing to do with brown-nosing and cozying up with fucking Nazis.
Yes, it is. So you just spout shit you might not believe in, or
that's
you don't
not
want
the
to say.
definition of politically correct.
Oh, that's how I use it.
You're using it wrong. I love where Tifa was trying to go with that statement. Welcome in Skinner. No, Tifa. Yeah, Tifa is trying to reinvent language here, but that's... No, Tifa. The words you used mean what we all believe they mean, not you.
Fine, I'll take it. How are you doing, Skinner?
Politically correct is when you say things to not offend anyone.
Yeah,
yes, and this is taken to the extreme when you start to walk around eggshells, when you really try not to offend anybody, including people anybody in their right mind would be more than willing to offend.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you stand behind it.
Correct. Where were you going with this line of thought?
You're the one that strayed me off of my line of thought.
Yeah, Tifa, because you were going down 80 on the highway, which in itself was fine, but then suddenly you slammed the brakes, and we're stopping you to tell you don't slam the brakes on the highway. That doesn't answer the question, where were you going with this?
I don't even remember where I was going with this. You threw me out of it.
Thank you, Benjima. Thank you, everybody, in helping me try to instill some necessary knowledge in Tifa. Also, Skinner, congrats on being first. Nice.
I didn't see it, but GG.
So, Skinner, I'm glad you loved where Tifa was trying to go with that statement, because Tifa doesn't know where she was trying to go with that statement.
You're throwing me out of it today.
Just parroting things for power doesn't mean you were parroting extremist rhetoric. Yes, not necessarily. But... wait, how do I put this? Parroting extremist rhetoric can be parroting things for power, but parroting things for power isn't always parroting extremist rhetoric. Does that make sense?
I feel like you just repeated the same thing.
No. I said what I said. Tifa, watch your word. I'm gonna try to find other words for it. Present belief or disbelief, or present belief or disbelief is secondary. I want people to say what they believe in, what they stand for, and not fall to the brown-nosing for personal gain.
Then politics is not the field you should be in.
That is one of the reasons why I am in fact not in politics. That is correct, yes. Yes.
Shouldn't be, but that's how it is.
Meanwhile, we had a system in different ways as well. Of course, the man on the stage won't be the only one gaining something. When he wins the election and becomes a governor next year, the organization will welcome the governor as a new member and gain even more political influence. And eventually, the organization will become so powerful that nobody can ignore it. Those of you reading this right now probably get the sense that they are no mere alumni association. Yeah, it was kind of clear when they did the whole fuck everybody who isn't a patriot like us. You'd be absolutely right. After reaching this level, they were a fine syndicate. No, there would be a secret society if a group wasn't so open about its activities. Now, I'm sure some of your readers are brushing this off, thinking there's no way such a suspicious organization could exist in Japan. But everything I've explained is entirely true. There are several such influential groups and organizations within our society, and you need to understand that they hold powerful political clout and influence our national policies. Some are alma mater cliques like the one I've described above. Others are scientific societies serving different parties, industrial groups, advisory committees, religious organizations, community service groups, and so forth.
Who is the narrator?
I love how Ryukishi went all the way. No, this shit is happening, people! Open your eyes! This is being done for financial gain! You wouldn't survive one episode of Game of Thrones, unfortunately. Yes, that is correct. And I'm proud of that.
Why do I feel like this is a reoccurring theme?
It makes sense, and yeah, I agree. And I'm proud of that. I stand by that. I take that as a badge of pride. Very few survive by sticking to their morals if their morals are good. Yeah, that's why I'm not in politics.
You don't get very far with a...
Some guy called Machiavelli wrote an entire book about this. I heard about it. Speaking of Game of Thrones, I just saw Sophie Turner is confirmed as Lara Croft. I didn't know we were casting another Lara Croft, but congratulations, I guess.
Sophie Turner?
Yeah, Sansa.
Yeah, I know, but can I see that? Can I see her as Lara Croft? Well, to be fair, I haven't played it. I haven't seen anything of Lara Croft, so I can't say anything about it.
My issue is I only know Sophie Turner as Sansa, and I don't see Sansa as Lara Croft. But doesn't mean Sophie Turner can't do a good job in the role. Amazon live action series, so it could be hit or miss. Yeah, that's true. We will see when it comes out. Jack is too pure for this world. I know, right? I know! And it's always, Tifa's so cute, she's so innocent, so naive, so sweet. It's me! I'm the adorable one. She's so the precious. Evil one.
So precious.
I always refer to the fact that I couldn't see Heath Ledger as Joker.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Fair.
I mean, nobody did really.
Sometimes people really surprise you. But like I said, I don't know enough about Lara Croft to really judge, besides the
Lara.
triangle.
Not
books.
Lara.
Well, Laura. See, there you already have
Tomb
that.
Raider, if you want to be taken easy with.
I've never even seen the Angelina Jolie movies.
You haven't?
I have not.
Okay, fair. You were not a teenage boy when they came out. Makes sense.
No way.
Yes, way.
Never watched them. And the only bits from the games I have seen is like Mame streaming it.
The reboot trilogy.
I don't know which one it is. How many
The
are there?
reboot trilogy. I'm telling you because she doesn't know.
It seemed like a question mark was at the end.
No.
I don't know which one it was. Aren't there like 2 games? 3 games. 3, I believe. And
I think, not counting spin-offs, there's like 10 or 11.
oh, okay, maybe there's more.
First one we told you was really good. Still need to play. We have to do that now. And then you can shame Tifa afterwards for not knowing anything about it. We be Higurashi. Indeed,
Yes,
Yaya.
we are. How are you
When
doing?
we're not talking about me being too pure for this world and for politics, we do be Higurashi. How are you doing?
Very precious.
Jack, the reboot trilogy. Tifa, there's only 2 games. Reminder that Tifa believed that Luigi's Mansion 2 is the remake of Luigi's Mansion 1. Implying that Luigi's Mansion 3 is the remake of Luigi's Mansion.
I didn't say that. Also,
You
there
did.
wasn't a Luigi's Mansion 3 for a long time.
You did say that last time.
No, I said that 2. I thought 2 was a remake of 1.
Yeah, and by that logic, 3 is a remake of 2 being a remake of 1. It's not Sony, it's
That's
not
not
the
logic. You're
remaster.
putting things in my mouth. You can have a remake and then someone decides that it's time for a follow-up or a sequel.
We're all in agreement here, right? It's just another one of those moments
Yeah.
where
You need to stream Luigi's Mansion 3. That is on
Maybe.
the planning for November, actually.
maybe not that.
And we're skipping 2.
I'll skip you.
We're not doing 2. I heard so many bad things about 2. I don't want to spend my time on
Tifa,
that.
why don't you go be confirmative and politically correct over in your corner?
But yeah, it is on the plan for November.
Also, there are right wings and left wings, the hawk and the dove. The hawk and the dove.
Sounds like a book.
I won't go listing their specific names here.
Thank you.
Yet you've probably... Why are you so spiteful, Tifa? It started yesterday with you shitting all over the holy institution of a recap. And then you have been doing what you have been doing today.
I really
What?
don't like political topics. And I'm tired. It all adds to it.
So we're dropping Higurashi on the final chapter, is what you're saying.
I mean, I'm quite happy with the ending of chapter 7.
The fuck you mean you were happy with it? Everybody died!
It felt like a climax.
So Tifa's favorite moment to end the story is my friends got executed with a bullet to the dome. I watched them die. I had my intestines ripped out. The bad guys won and my whole village got holocausted. And Tifa goes, yeah, no, that's the ending I'll take.
To be fair, I don't need everything to have a good end.
Your opinion has been invalidated.
I would still like to see the end of chapter 8. I'm just not into the beginning
The
of
more
chapter
you
8
let
yet.
me flow into reading, the sooner it's over.
So now legit skip 2. I'm fully with you there.
One was
good.
good because it's different, 2 was episodic and didn't flow as nicely, because it was a mobile game designed so that you play it in bursts. Thank God Freon did that mistake, because it was for a stationary console. And when everything's so well, roll on Lim 4. See how that one turns out.
You're confirming we should skip 2 and go straight to 3.
Yet you've probably read them every now and then in your average newspaper. In Japan, the terms for such forces aren't very common. Most of your readers probably think of a suspicious organization wearing white hoods when you hear the phrase secret society and laugh it off. When I think white hoods, I think KKK, and I don't laugh about those usually.
But that's not a secret society, is it?
No. I mean, not really, but
Aren't they very open about what they...
they are unfortunately very open and very proud of what they do, yes. Kelly wants low mine, so I'll be hopping in my car. I'll have to go audio only for a while. Ranger, have a wonderful drive and please get some tasty foods.
Enjoy.
But unfortunately, that's a huge mistake. In America, where there's far more territory and citizens, there's way more groups like that. And they possess such vast influence that ignoring them is impossible. So the terms they use for such forces doesn't apply to those on the scale of this syndicate. And sometimes people say that such groups have more power than the White House, and they're referred to as the shadow government. Why is Higurashi so fucking topical in 2025? If you don't know why I'm angry about this, Google Project 2025. Even here in Japan, we had a shadow government before the war, our Zaibatsu. After we lost the war, the GHQ dismantled those blocks, but 40 years have passed since then. There's no guarantee that our country hasn't given birth to another shadow government, given how good we are at collusion, groundwork and backroom deals.
Also get some high mine. That is Jack level.
Skinner, I'm not sure that Ranger took the ladder along, so it will be low mine for now. But it was a good one. Mio Takano was, in fact, attending a conference of such a shadow government. Okay, cool. Fade to black. Are we done now? Is it over? It might appear to be a guest house at a huge golf course. There were no golfers in sight, but appearances, that must be it. But appearances can be deceiving. This wasn't a golf course, but a huge backyard. The guest house was, in fact, a very stylish mansion.
The guest house.
It's that episode of Pokemon from the first season where...
with James.
Spoilers for the Pokemon anime from, I think, 1998. There's an episode in the first season where the gang and Team Rocket go learn about James's past, and they come to his house and they stand in front of his huge mansion and in front of his huge yard. And then Jesse and Meowth go like, "Oh my god, you're so rich, why don't you be here and stuff? This is such a big house." And he goes,
"You live here?"
"Actually, this is the dog house." And then the camera pans out and you see this huge house, and then next to it this even bigger mansion, like so big it has its own zip code.
Or like a castle at that point.
Yeah. And it turns out, in fact, yes, it was really just the dog house, because that's where his Growlithe lives.
Still can't believe he never took that Growlithe along. Broke my heart.
It's one of the many reasons why James is... I also can't believe they got rid of coughing and Ekans at some point. I mean, sorry, wheezing and Arbok. I just left them behind. And wheezing! I don't know why they did that. Normal people would be surprised to learn that this was a private residence. The interior of a building was as lavish as the exterior. There were beautiful carpets on every floor, expensive-looking decorations on the wall, and expensive-looking bottles of alcohol on the shelves. And expensive-looking bottles of alcohol on the shelves. That's the kind of room Takano was in. There was a knock at the door, and an old man in a wheelchair and a young woman pushing it entered. If the man in the wheelchair, Tifa, is wearing weird red glasses, and he's also deaf, mute, and blind, can you pull out the internet cable with your feet?
My toes are already on it. Also, I'm shocked we get to see the guy in the wheelchair immediately.
60 hours later. And if you don't know what the hell we're talking about, good on you. I hope you never find out. It's better for you, trust me. As Takano stood up to bow, the old man stopped her by raising his right hand.
No, you don't need to stand up. Long time no see. I've been telling you to come see me anytime, but you never do.
It's great to see you, Koizuma-sensei.
The old man sat down on the sofa with assistance from the woman. Okay, so he can actually walk or move short stretches, and he can talk. It's not that guy. Good. He was very old. His face was covered in wrinkles and he could hardly do anything on his own. Even so, he still had a great deal of power. Even so, he still held a great deal of power and influence.
Oh my, you haven't changed a bit, have you? I can see lipstick on your neck.
Oh, is that right? Good grief, how embarrassing.
Is this the Playboy Mansion, or where are we?
There was no lipstick on his neck. The woman who was helping him with his wheelchair was too beautiful to be a mere helper, so Takano had suspected something. As it turned out, her guess was correct. Although he was so old that he could die the next day, he wanted to stay sexually active until the very end. I didn't need to know this. This is Tolkien level of lore. I don't need to know who's fucking. Even the Grim Reaper would think that's just absurd.
Mio-chan, you've become quite beautiful yourself. You're not a little girl anymore, eh?
Oh, stop. Also, is this the guy who started the orphanage?
I have no idea.
If you really think that way, why did you try to touch my bottom,
What have you got to lose from having an old guy like me touch your butt?
My dignity? No.
Can we shoot the You killed 6 children in cold frickin' blood for your own entertainment.
She didn't yet.
Why do...
I'm sure you have plenty of chances to touch a softer butt, don't you? What conversation are we having?
Takani. I'm done. I'm absolute no.
Who is this guy again?
The fact that this probably happens more times than anybody can count every single moment is disgusting. And I feel like not continuing reading, but we got it. We want to know how it ends. I mean, we do. Tifa is very happy with a massacre ending, but Takano and the old man enjoyed a tasteless conversation. They had clearly known each other for a long time and were very close. The young woman came back in to serve tea. After she left, the old man started to speak.
Anyway, I'm so proud of you, Mio-chan. I'm sure your grandfather in heaven is proud of you too.
I hope so. But I'm not even close to approaching the level of my grandfather's great work.
Takano-kun was unlucky in many different ways. The era he lived in. If he lived in a different era, I'm sure he would have finished his research.
But he lived in that era, and ironically, that was why he noticed the existence of the Hinamizawa syndrome.
The world today is in the nuclear area. The world today is in the nuclear era, with America and the Soviet Union glaring at each other over mounds of nuclear stockpiles. It takes nukes to have authority as a major power. Yet we've forever abandoned our nukes thanks to our free anti-nuclear principles. In this age, we are now a nation without nukes. How deplorable.
In the middle of the 20th century, despite rising tensions between East and West, there was a temporary peace known as the Cold War, brought by a balance of nuclear weapons pointed at one another. The permanent memberships in the United Nations were monopolized by nations with nuclear arms. They secured their predominance with nuclear weapons, bound the world with nuclear non-proliferation treaties, eternally banning non-nuclear nations from the world stage. For Japan to become a nation that can compete with the world, it must develop nuclear arms, or something as powerful. That's what some people believed, at least.
Realistically, Japan will never arm itself with nuclear weapons.
I know. The citizens wouldn't accept it. Even if the government ignored their opinions and armed itself with nuclear weapons, it wouldn't work.
By abandoning nuclear weaponry, Japan gained the deterrent power of the United States. Though some people thought that the only way for Japan to become equal to the United States would be to get nuclear arms of their own. But realistically, that was impossible. Even if Japan armed itself with nuclear weapons, that wouldn't automatically let Japan join the great powers. Takani and the old man. Why do I keep saying Takani now? It's like Erika yesterday. Do I have the same parasite, maybe? Takano and the old man discussed the balance of nuclear power in the world. Eventually, the sound of a cuckoo clock reminded them to return to the main subject at hand. The old man pointed to the attaché case that had been sitting next to Takano. Takano nodded once, opened it up, and removed the contents. There were brand new bills packed in it. How much was actually in there? A bundle of brand new 1,000,000 yen bills is 1 centimeter. So there must have been at least enough to make up 8 digits. There were also 2 more attaché cases by her side. However, neither Takano nor the old man were surprised at all. Takano closed the attaché case and bowed. We understand it's like a briefcase. Why you use the fancy words? Sorry, we are in the...
You're asking that in chapter 8?
We are in the presence of better people, so that's clearly why.
Thank you very much, Koizumi-sensei. I'll never forget about this.
Money should be handled by younger people. I can't take it to heaven with me. I just hope this will be of assistance to you. Use it wisely.
Listen, old gropey man, I don't think there's a heaven waiting for me.
Of course I will. I'll use this money only to make my grandfather's dream come true.
Spoilers for the Metal Gear Solid franchise? Is... Portosy was going to happen. Damn it, Jack. You're welcome. This is the portable ops moment, right? The part of the story that got retconned later because Kojima didn't like portable ops because he didn't work on it that much. The part where we learn how the main character, the driving force behind the story, got the shit tons of infinite money to do all of these things.
I envy Takano-kun. What a wonderful grandchild he has. I'm sure he's bragging about you up there.
I haven't done anything yet. I'll have earned this praise when I complete my grandfather's work.
I'm so jealous. My boys are no good. They're only interested in making money. What really matters is how the money is spent. How you contribute to a country is what's most important.
But you can't spend it without making it.
And that's how you repay your debt to it, you know.
Basically, Koizumi is saying, make economy go brrr.
Ah, so are you saying that treating all those lovers so lavishly is also a way of repaying your country?
Of course! When they shop, the country makes money. Money goes around, you see.
He has a good point.
Why do I understand the thinking of old perverts?
Plus extra bonus if we get them pregnant.
True, because that way we have a reason to give them even more money through alimony.
Yeah, and then the kids will contribute to
Exactly.
society.
So Koizumi is team fuck for the economy. Makes sense. However, those lovers would probably end up buying some foreign goods. Things probably don't work quite the way this old man thinks they do. Takano chuckled to herself.
But the money I give to those women and the money I give you are completely different.
I know that very well.
You've worked very hard. You've retained trust and support from so many people. This is the first time I've mentioned it, but Aoyama-kun and Mochizuki-kun weren't sure about you because of your age at first.
It was Harayama at the Child Consultation Center, right? Not Haruyama.
I think so.
Okay.
The name doesn't ring a bell at least.
Raising the birth rate at least, yes.
Yeah. I mean, these people would get a heart attack in the current age. Didn't Japan recently announce that they are accepting 500,000 migrants? What I can't think
Immigrants.
anymore. Immigrants from India
I
to
have no
fill
idea.
up positions that they can't fill up themselves because they don't have the people anymore.
Don't know, but it wouldn't shock me. I mean, every country does that at some point in history when they realize, we need people to do things, but we don't have people to do things. So, hey, everybody, do you have people you can send over? Then some country goes, yeah, it's us. Look at Germany. After World War II in the 70s, Germany had a deal with Turkey to bring over immigrant workers to help out. That's why Germany has a large Turkish population. It makes sense. I need to redo the whole line because of that stupid laugh at the end.
This is the first time I've mentioned it, but Hariyama-kun and Mochizuki-kun both weren't sure about you because of your age at first. That's why I'm acknowledging your efforts, and that's why I'm giving you this money.
I understand.
Also, For me to give you this money means that I recognize you as the official successor of Takano-kun's research.
Thank you very much. Thank you for believing in me. I truly appreciate it.
No, don't mention it. This research is Takano-kun's and yours too. He wouldn't want anyone else to take over. So, thanks to all of your effort, I didn't have to spend much time convincing the other old folks.
Completing my grandfather's research is the least I can do for him. I won't begrudge any efforts towards that aim.
Takano smiled as she remembered everything she had to go through to get to this point. It went without saying, but the old man around Takano saw her as someone from her grandchildren's generation, or maybe even younger. Just how much trouble did Takano have to endure in order to gain the trust of those with such a large generation gap? It was hard to describe to those who couldn't even imagine her trouble. But Takano earned it. She gathered allies, drove away enemies, garnered support, and forced them to recognize her. She spent a long time establishing trust and rising to a status that the old man would welcome. Which was all the more reason this meeting was a reward for her many days of hardship. Now that she officially had a powerful influence backing her, she could spread her wings and see the completion of her grandfather's unfinished research.
Welcome back, Benjima, and it's not because you're back.
But because this is a good moment to take a break.
I was gonna suggest to take a short break.
Same, because reading Koizumi in that voice means I have to take extra care of my vocal cords, I'm sorry. BRB.
BRB.
We're back.
We are. You know we love you, Benjima.
Because I'm cutting out the breaks when we upload this to YouTube. You missed nothing. Nothing weird happened at all.
Well, now that you're officially continuing Takano-kun's research.
What did I just click on? Because it wasn't in the game. Everything's still running? Yes.
Well, now that you're officially continuing Takano-kun's research, there's something I need to tell you, Mio-chan.
What is it? I'm listening.
The old man paused and pulled an expensive cigarette from the cigarette holder on the table. Takano lit it up for him. She didn't smoke herself, but knowing that the old man did, she kept the lighter in her pocket. The constant build-up of little gestures like that was how she gained the trust? Oh no, it's plural, that makes sense. But the constant build-up of little gestures like that were how she gained the trust she held today.
Takano-kun noticed the Hinamizawa syndrome in Manchuria, not Japan.
Yes.
Wait, no. There should have been a bomb explosion sound.
Why?
Because it's not Hinamizawa syndrome.
Yeah, maybe there it's called Manchuria syndrome.
That implies so much. Did he transplant it? Did he move it?
Well, I'm guessing he's gonna...
Why did it move? How does it travel?
Oh, and Takano knows, yes. According to my grandfather's journal, around 1940, he learned that many soldiers sent from Hinamizawa to the Kwantung army expressed terminal symptoms, which led him to surmise that an unknown infectious parasite dwelt in Hinamizawa.
Under the harsh conditions of war, people sometimes lost their mind. In those conditions, those who were sent to a far-off battlefield from Hinamizawa spent their days under duress, and occasionally they exhibited terminal symptoms, hallucinated and caused twisted incidents. Yet that all occurred in the extensive chaos of a battlefield. Every incident was handled separately, and no one suspected that there was an underlying cause.
Wait, I'm confused. Is he saying he noticed it in Kwantung, and all of the people he saw it in were from Hinamizawa? Because that's not new.
I think it's a matter of you need to press A. Because I'm confused as well.
Yeah, but it's not new information. He even said while he was in the army, he noticed that the soldiers who came from Hinamizawa were behaving like this, and that's how he traced it back to a parasite. So what we're hearing now is not new information.
Ah, no, it felt like it. But
The
if
only
I
thing
get to
that's
continue
new-
my lines, we can confirm.
The only thing that's new is that we hear Quantung Army.
At the time, Takano-kun was working as a military physician in the Kwantung Army. He was researching the prevention of different infectious diseases, and one day he noticed that several incidents of deranged behavior were occurring among soldiers from the same hometown. He hypothesized that these symptoms were unique to those from Hinamizawa, and he began his own personal research. He hired soldiers from Hinamizawa as workers in his research center and studied them there. Then he learned of the unique Hinamizawa faith in oyashiro-sama, and he was convinced that he found an infectious parasite with unique properties.
Takano sitting here like, yeah, that's what I'm researching.
I know
now.
this old man.
That's exactly what
That's
I'm
why I
looking
came to
into.
you. Remember
what
how
you gave me
we
money
met
for.
10 years ago? Senile old fuck. Some may wonder how he could be so certain that these symptoms were caused by unusual parasites. At the beginning of the 20th century, German doctors proved that some unknown diseases were caused by bacteria and parasites. You're welcome, everybody. I'm not one of the German scientists that found out. I'm just, as a German, I'm telling you, you're welcome. We're all welcome. At the time, it wasn't too far of a jump to assume that unknown pathogens could be behind unknown diseases. For instance, if Tifa clicks her broken nail one more time, Jack is going to scream.
But I haven't right now.
Then what did I just hear?
I don't know, but I'm not clicking my nail.
Are you not playing with...
No. I was holding it like this.
For instance, in modern times it's been revealed that beriberi is caused by vitamin B1 deficiency. But at the start of the 20th century, many loudly proclaimed that it was the work of an unidentified pathogen. What the fuck is beriberi?
It sounds kind of cute, doesn't it?
It sounds like a spice, but I'm thinking piri-piri. I'm
one
confusing
word.
those two, right? Wait.
Wait there, beriberi disease.
Okay.
Beriberi?
It's literally vitamin B deficiency.
We just learned that.
Okay, there's also a picture on Wikipedia. Signs and symptoms. Symptoms include weight loss, emotional disturbances, impaired sensory perception, weakness and pain in the limbs, and periods of irregular heart rate. Edema is common. Okay. Damn. It's messed up. Get your vitamins, people.
Yes, my grandfather predicted that his research would be valuable to the army, so he asked for a budget, but they just laughed at him.
Haha, stupid scientist. As a researcher, her grandfather was very talented and passionate, but when it came to gaining the aid of political powers, he simply struck out. Hinamizawa syndrome. No, the possible existence of a parasite that infected the human brain and controlled emotions. Even though he made the remarkable achievement of discovering a mystery no one had explained before him, he was unable to convince others of that achievement and spent his life alone, unable to garner support and unable to achieve proper recognition for his achievement. Independent research has its limit. Talented people, funding and backup. A research project can be successful only if all those things are present. Takano had noticed her grandfather's mistakes, and that was why she did everything she could to obtain all of that.
The military at the time was hoping for a low-cost, immediate acting weapon. While Takano-kun's research was extremely intriguing, it didn't meet the military's expectations.
But I heard you were the only two who understood my grandfather's research, weren't you? In his journal, he calls you his best friend.
We came from the same hometown.
I felt like I was being followed by cicadas the whole time. Ranger, same. I've been feeling that for 1.5 years.
Or whatever bugs are making noise in the background. You have a really good ear because they are indeed cicadas.
Specifically Japanese cicadas. Some of them are even Higurashi. That's a type of Japanese cicada.
No, specifically the crying type.
Yes. Also, in case you're wondering, because I only noticed this now, Tifa didn't sprout wings at some point. She just got her back pillow in a different spot.
basically. I grew up in Texas and they were year-round.
Oh God.
Did you ever get peed on
so
by
sorry.
a cicada?
Please say it properly. Cicadas don't pee on you, they piss on you. If you don't know about this, Ranger, I hope you don't, because I hope you never went for this. No, okay. This sounds weird, but please go to YouTube and look up videos of cicadas peeing, because it's crazy. They don't just go or a droplet falls out of them. It's like a jet stream. If a cicada pissed on you, you would know. It's like a hose is being turned on.
I don't think I will.
You're missing out. It's one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Oh, it's so funny.
Meanwhile,
We came from the same hometown. It was a miracle to run into someone from the same town on such a distant battlefield.
they pissed on my wife, Sonic. I miss my wife, Tails. When we go on our trip this weekend, Tifa, we have enough time in the train. You need to watch with me the Snapcube fan-dubs of Sonic Adventure 2.
I'll think about it.
It's so good. It's rent-free in my head. Another vacation always. Where were we? Oh,
For 2 weeks.
only for her. I'll be back, but don't worry.
Although we were in close in age, we became very good friends. So we talked a lot. And many times he told me his research would be revolutionary and asked me to lay the groundwork to secure funding for full-scale research.
I read in his journal that you talked to many different people about his research. Unfortunately, its value was never recognized, but I'm sure your support meant a lot to him.
But I was never able to really do anything for him. That's why I want to help you, Mio-chan. Helping you is like atoning for my mistakes.
Thank you very much. He was lucky to have you as his best friend. If only there were more understanding people like you in the military's upper echelon. It's very regrettable to think that my grandfather's life might have been different.
Real quick. I hate this word.
Echelon? Echelon.
You can't see the mouse.
Isn't it echelon?
Yes. I've heard multiple versions. I believe it's like schedule. Some people say schedule, some people say schedule. I've heard echelon, I've heard echelon. I think echelon sounds cooler though.
It sounds like it works.
Yeah. Did you read the line already?
Yeah.
Good say so. The old man closed his eyes and paused for a moment. Shortly after that, he looked into the distance and spoke.
Actually, that isn't true at all. The higher-ups were interested in Takano-kun's discovery.
What? I've never heard that before.
He's not gonna leave the room alive. He betrayed him.
Then why didn't they support his research?
Dup, 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 dup. What's today? 3rd of September. Takano will kill... What's his name?
Koizumi.
Let me guess. He now says, oh, because I fucked it up? For not helping Hifumi.
I think he's just gonna die natural causes.
Something came up and they couldn't let him look into Hinamizawa syndrome. Only a few of the top brass and myself knew the reason. Now that all but myself have passed, I think I should tell you, Mio-chan, since you're carrying on his work.
What came up? What was it?
Takano had believed until this day that her grandfather's research was ridiculed by everyone, which was the reason why it had never gained any recognition. Her grandfather had asked the military for funding so he could uncover the secret of Hinamizawa syndrome during the war. But just like the old man had said earlier, the military wanted an instant-acting weapon. That was why they weren't interested in his research. That's what she had believed. But as it turned out, the military had actually shown an interest after all. Can we just get an answer?
It's too easy.
Old people and Jack really love to listen to themselves talk.
We Before I go on, I need to explain about the Kwantung Army in Manchuria at the time. While the Kwantung Army was stationed in Manchuria, opinions were divided on whether to advance our forces north or south.
Oh, thank God I don't need to do all of this voice. At the time, Japan had troops in Manchuria, but opinions were divided on advancing north to deter the Soviet Union or advancing south to expand our territory and secure resources. With the Soviet Union and its predecessor, Russia, being a landlocked, frozen nation, they had long yearned for an ice-free port that wouldn't freeze over in winter. They had made numerous attempts to expand their territory southward too. Those expansionist policies were said to be a cause of a Russo-Japanese War. In the history books, it is said that Japan won the Russo-Japanese War, but it was actually a draw ending in peace signed at the Treaty of Portsmouth. Or Portsmouth, I'm not sure. Both sides had simply set aside their spears after mutually exhausting their forces. It wasn't like Russia capitulated and offered a complete surrender. As a result, the perception of a Russian threat continued to smolder. Later, the Russian Empire was overthrown by a revolution, but Japan was unable to shake the threat that the new Soviet Union would advance south.
According to the history books, Japan went south. They signed the Soviet-Japanese Neutrality Pact and abandoned the northern advance. As a result, when the Great Patriotic War began, the Soviet Union was able to respond to pressure on their German front by pouring in their eastern forces.
The Great Patrick War. Hello, this is Patrick.
Though the Germans had managed to lay siege to Moscow, the Soviets launched a massive counter-offensive that reversed the tides of war. Even with the Soviet...
Excuse you?
Oh.
Excuse you? Even with the Soviet-Japanese Neutrality Pact, the Soviets couldn't tell if Japan would attack them at some point. Because of that threat, the Soviets had to leave some forces in the Far East, and they weren't able to devote enough troops to the German front. For starters, the Soviets had forged the Germany-Soviet Non-Aggression Pact too. Yet Germany broke the treaty and attacked the Soviet Union. To make matters worse, Japan and Germany had forged a military alliance. With all those factors in play, the Soviets naturally couldn't trust Japan to uphold their neutrality pact. Ironically, the Soviet Union was the one who broke the pact, but I won't go into that now. You forgot about Italy and Spain, by the way, but... Oh, I get to do the fancy history words. Did you expect Hitler to make showing in Higurashi?
At this point, yes.
Same. When
we were going towards the same time.
Yeah. It's always Hitler, somehow.
Exactly. Hitler signed the Tripartite Pact because he expected Japan to keep the Soviets' other front in check. But ultimately Japan abandoned the North. With a superior German offensive, many supported the idea of waiting and watching it play out. They believed that even if we did advance north, it would be after Germany conquered Moscow. However, that plan was exposed to siege, and the Soviets transferred their heavy tanks from the Far East borders to the German front. That secured Germany's defeat at Moscow, and the Germans began seeing a string of defeats, starting with the Battle of Kursk.
It was a turning point in history, huh?
During the Cold War, the Soviet Union was recognized as a global power, but at least in 1940, the Kwantung Army didn't think it was a particular threat. Japan had earned a victory with the Russo-Japanese War, and they took the new Soviet Union government lightly, assuming it wouldn't be stable after overthrowing the Russian Empire. Tifa dropped her hairband, fidgeting. What she called it? It's crazy, you know what I can see while I'm reading, and then she goes... Is this annoying you, Jack? Why would this deter you from reading?
It's because I looked down that gave it away.
I love you, do you know that? That underestimation was corrected after the Nomonhan incident in 1941. After several fierce short-term battles with the Soviet Union's advanced mechanized corps that led to great losses, the Kwantung Army realized that they shouldn't fight the Soviets, and that inclined Japan toward the Soviet-Japanese Neutrality Pact.
But at the very least, up until the Nomonhan incident, the Kwantung Army was strongly conscious of the Soviets and divided on advancing north or south. And thanks to that, there were also voices advising caution, suggesting we avoid all-out war with China in order to shore up our forces against the Soviets.
But the Sino-Japanese War broke out after the Marco Polo Bridge incident, right?
This must be absolutely amazing for people who are into Japanese history. For me, this hopefully will not be on the test because...
I would prefer a skip button here.
No, we're going back in time actually. July 1937. The Japanese and Chinese armies were staring at each other across the Lugo Bridge in Beijing. It was the middle of the night on July 7th. The Chinese army fired on the Japanese army in training and they engaged in combat. This triggered the long Sino-Japanese War.
Yes. According to historical records, that incident triggered the Sino-Japanese War, but with opinions divided over advancing north or south, the army was equally divided over a full-scale confrontation with China.
If you say divided between advancing north or south one more time, get to the point, old man.
No. In fact, we even received orders from General Staff Headquarters to resolve the matter quietly before the incident grew much bigger.
So, those supporting the northern advance wanted to settle the Battle of Lugo Bridge quietly, insisting that conflict with China was pointless in light of the anti-Soviet strategy. However, those on the mainland supporting the southern advance used this incident as cause to dispatch more troops to China. They enacted hard policies against China, and thus the Marco Polo Bridge incident became the trigger for Japan and China to enter all-out war. After that and their bitter struggles in the Nomonhan incident, Japan greatly revised their Soviet strategy. They signed the Soviet-Japanese Neutrality Pact and secured the route for their southern advance. The Sino-Japanese War got worse and worse.
If the Marco Polo Bridge incident hadn't happened, it's possible that history would have gone very differently, and we would all be speaking Japanese or German right now. Maybe we would have ended up in a war with them anyway. However, if the South faction didn't get the chance, the military authorities would have kept restraining the Soviet Union, and the Soviets would have had to divide their forces between East and West. And maybe Germany could have invaded Moscow, and Japan could have gone to Siberia. The map could have been very different today.
In what world do you believe that after Germany destroys Russia, where this works out in the best interest for anybody? Like, the Nazis' goals were quite clear. They broadcasted the fact that they believe themselves to be superior to every other group of people on the planet. There was no peace with them ever.
Yeah, but maybe Germany first, Japan second?
Yes, and this is the grand idiocy of Nazis and their supporters. This happens on an international level. You can look this up, and please correct me if I'm wrong because I don't understand something, because I'm dumb. Basically every country has far right-wing parties, right? And on an international scale, like in the European Union Parliament, every country sends some of their rightmost wing people because they get elected into power because it's 2025 and we live in the worst timeline. All of them believe that their own country is the best country on the planet. But they work together on an international scale. How? Please make it make sense. Is the idea really that, let's say, 6 countries from Europe all band together and they become, I don't know, super Nazis, and they take out all 190 something other countries first? Who will they turn on after that? Maybe each other?
No, obviously that's the end.
Yeah, clearly. You know, I think some countries tried appeasement with Hitler back then too, saying, oh, he will stop after this. Look at the history book, people.
For these people, it's them versus the woke globalists.
Enemy of my enemy shit. That's what they say, but if you look at it, It's always us versus them, and there will always be a them. That's the part I don't get. If for a moment you believe, I will put myself in this position to make this line of speaking easier. If I tell you I am the superior human being, everybody else is shit, that means everybody is my enemy. Sure, I can divide you up and go, oh no, it's just this group of people, it's just that group of people, but I'm telling you I'm better than everybody else. That's so dumb. At some point people were surprised Pikachu face. Wait, he meant that when he said it? Yeah. All of this annoys me tremendously and I wish it didn't exist. Germany wouldn't necessarily have won the war if it had succeeded in taking Moscow. England was keeping its strength on the other side of the Dover Strait, after all, and the United States was poised to enter the conflict. Besides, Napoleon once occupied Moscow, but in the end he couldn't beat their winter and had to withdraw.
It is one of those ifs, huh? The Axis might have won the war.
And thank fucking God they didn't.
Yes, it's possible that the gunshot from the Marco Polo Bridge incident changed the tide of history.
Both sides had different opinions of who fired the shot, right?
According to the Japanese side, a Chinese soldier fired a shot at a Japanese soldier who got too close to the Chinese camp. However, the Chinese side claimed the shot was a conspiracy invented by the Japanese military.
As far as I can tell, they're more isolationist than having ethnic clanstic ambitions, but that's just speculations. Fair? In my mind, one will lead to the other.
But the shot was fired. Even though nobody knew who actually pulled the trigger, it sparked the Sino-Japanese War.
It was Takano.
Yes! That's what the history books say.
But, Koizumi-sensei, what does that have to do with my grandfather?
Thank you! Yes, I was going to ask that. Get to the point. Sorry.
In the Marco Polo Bridge incident, a shot was fired at a unit that was training in the middle of the night. Everyone was summoned for a roll call. They were missing one soldier.
It was your grandfather.
And if one soldier is missing, you send 2 to retrieve him. If there's 2 soldiers missing, you send 4. Hinamizawa.
This soldier came back late and it was said that he was sent as a messenger and got too close to the Chinese camp. By the way, did you know that soldier was from Hinamizawa?
So he had syndromes.
Yeah.
Really?
Also, really quick, because we're in all of this depressing Nazis World War II shit, there's actually a really endearing story of the Swiss army. I forgot when exactly, but you can look that up. It's a short story. At some point in the not too long ago past, I think like 30 or 40 years ago, the Swiss army went on a mission with, I think, 12 people. But they came back with 13. On the way, they found, or they met somebody in Liechtenstein, which is that super tiny country bordering Austria and Switzerland. And he decided to join them.
Just like that?
Yeah,
okay.
He just became part of a troop.
That's cute.
That is so much more uplifting than all of this shit. I love the idea that, you know, you send people on a military mission, they come back. Hey, is it cool if Hans comes with us?
Can we adopt him?
We met him on the way. He's cool. He wants to move here.
He's not a spy.
Promise. Alright.
When Takano-kun was talking about Hinamizawa syndrome, he said that soldiers from Hinamizawa could suddenly fall into a deranged state. And we realized that the soldier from the Marco Polo Bridge incident was in fact from Hinamizawa.
Are you telling me that Hinamizawa caused World War II? Is that what you're saying?
Then what about the first shot fired?
I don't know the truth, but I think it is possible that a soldier within the terminal stage of Hinamizawa syndrome fired the shot. That soldier was killed in the incident. Since there was no record of it, nobody knows exactly how he died.
Hinamizawa caused World War II. What the fuck? Tifa, I love how you read that line, by the way.
I know, I practiced a lot.
Only the Japan-Chinese side. The Japanese side claimed that the Chinese army had fired at them and negotiated with that in mind. Just a scant few days after the incident, Japan demanded an apology from the Chinese and, as a show of force, dispatched 3 divisions of reinforcements. The Chinese side was, of course, opposed to that. The situation escalated at once.
If research into Hinamizawa syndrome continued, higher-ups thought it would negatively influence the Japanese army's claims. So, in order to avoid the risk of traversing that political gray zone, they rejected Takano-kun's research.
So, because of that, they refused to even consider my grandfather's research long after the war ended too?
Imagine just doing it anyway and just not telling anybody.
You need funding.
Yes, that's exactly it. The war is over now, but there are still some conflicts there regarding historical recognition. Even if Takano-kun didn't mean for it to happen, if his research into Hinamizawa syndrome became public, it might cause a resurgence of quarrels over the long-ended war. Certain authorities were afraid of that. So, they made sure his research was ignored even after the war. I was long warned not to aid him in any way myself.
Beautiful again. Takano tried to remain calm, but she couldn't stop herself from grimacing. Perfect. She had just found out the real reason. The real reason. Oh, fuck.
What did you do?
I bit my tongue. Oh. Motherfucker.
You need a moment?
No, I'm good. I just scraped it on the side of the back.
Don't say reason anymore.
The reason I'm talking like this.
It's a dangerous word.
Bruh, yeah.
You okay now?
Yeah. The shock was bigger than the pain is. Rolling 1 on speaking. You have no idea how often it happens to me.
Critical failure.
I once managed to, while eating, really badly bit, my lip on the inside here. And then over the next 4 days, I bit it 3 more times. It swelled up. Tifa should remember this. It swelled up to the side of a plum seed. It was red, it was bleeding like crazy, it was so swollen from the continuously being crunched. I was shitting like this, I'm just trying to not hit the thing again, you know?
That is the worst, if you have a wound and you bite on it again.
9 out of 10 on the pain scale at the end. It took 2 weeks to fully subside, it was so bad. She had just found out that the real reason... Royal Race Ray, it's back.
Royal Race Ray.
Real reason. I've always struggled with my R's. It's really funny in British English, but not quite like that. 3rd time's a charm, people. She had just found out that the real reason why her grandfather's research had been ignored. It was because of secret maneuvers by political masterminds. If those masterminds feared it so much, ironically, that meant they acknowledged the importance of his research. Takano was saddened and frustrated to no end by her grandfather's lonely life.
However, they're all dead now. I'm the only one who knows about this. If Takano-kun was still alive, I was going to apologize to him and give him my unconditional support. But he's no longer around. That's why I'm apologizing to you and offering to give you my full support instead.
You fucker! You support him when there is nothing on the line anymore. Great friend you are.
He's
Great
also
help.
bound by rules.
Maybe just don't be part of a shadowy organization dealing with shit like this. Just my 2 cents.
AKA the government. Are you sure? One research into the Hinamizawa syndrome dredged up the same subjects again.
It's different now. Besides, research into Hinamizawa syndrome may produce more than a mere local disease. Depending on your research, post-war Japan may gain a trump card that makes it a world power once more.
So the tides and times have changed then.
Trump cards, huh? From their POV, that decision was reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
They were fearing the fallout. Makes sense.
That's right. Unfortunately, Takano-kun didn't live long enough to see that tide change. But he has you to continue his research. So as long as I'm alive, I'll give you my full support. I promised to help Takano-kun, but because of various things I couldn't do anything. So I want to make up for that as long as I'm alive. I think that's the least I can do for the man who called me his best friend.
Koizumi-sensei, thank you so much.
No, don't mention it. I'm glad I was able to tell you everything before I died. Anyway, until I'm gone, I'll make sure you get everything you need, okay? So, if anything comes up, be sure to let me know. I'll do anything for you.
Takano couldn't even imagine what kind of bond this old man and her grandfather had between them. But thanks to that bond, Takano was able to gain a powerful supporter. Tears welled up in Takano's eyes as she gave him an emotional look, but in her mind she was practically dancing at the promise of the old man's full support. The old man and Takano both bowed at the same time to show each other their appreciation. Once that was done, the old man became a little more serious. After that far too lengthy preamble, he finally said what he really wanted to tell her. This was the foreplay? Oh my god.
Doesn't end.
He's like me when I'm going on a tangent. It never ends.
So there you have it. This is what I wanted to say. The Hinamizawa syndrome has the potential power to make history. It may even twist the fate of our country. So keep that in mind and be careful with your research.
So it was done.
Is that it? That one line is what he really wanted to say, and that's how long he took to get there. After the proprietor finished serving the food, she bowed and left. The room was very tastefully put together, reminding them of a tea ceremony room. While it was sparsely decorated, quite a bit of money had obviously gone into it.
It's kind of cute how the phone is on a pillow.
Oh, that... What's the button I need to press? This one. Aww.
It's just being supported.
Come, comfy phone. Do, 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 do. That's adorable. And also a fire hazard. But cute.
It's a wooden house.
Yeah.
With paper divisions or whatever you call them.
Okay, true. Maybe the...
I don't think the pillow is the fire hazard.
Maybe
here.
the pillow is fire retardant, so that's a good thing. Yeah, okay, no, sorry. The most adorable fire hazard. It's a
Dark
great
Lord,
nickname.
how you doing?
Welcome in Dark Lord. How are you?
I think that's the last thing that will be set on fire here.
This was a very famous Japanese restaurant where many high-up officials and other important people held secret meetings. Tiva, is this an okay look for a fancy Japanese restaurant for you?
Yes.
Because I
This
remember
is.
you had issues with a previous one we saw.
This actually is. It's a private room where you can be accommodated. It has a closure. There's menus on the table.
Closure?
Yeah, division.
Okay.
There's menus on the table. You have your privacy. It's a ceremonial tea room. This is exactly what I expect from a restaurant like that.
This place could look more like Angel Mort. I think so too. It should, as a matter of fact.
And I am slightly mad they didn't recycle the background from the 5-star restaurant in chapter 4. Or 5. It was 5.
Takano was there, accompanied by about 5 gentlemen. What do you mean by about 5? That's easily a countable number.
Now I'm annoyed again because there's only 4 chairs.
But she's a woman, she doesn't get to sit at the same table.
Then we're still missing 1 chair.
She doesn't get to sit at the same table.
It's her plus 5 men. There's 4 seats. 6 minus 1.
Remember how I just went, oh, how stupid is Takano, but she can't count to 5?
What the heck comes after 6?
One of the guys is very blurry. It happens. Talking about being blurry. Look at this adorable Growlithe perler bead that I used to refocus the camera.
Also, I still don't get who the narrator is, because sometimes I think it's
Me.
Takano, and then at other times it swaps to the third person, and then I'm like, that's no longer Takano.
Tifa, it's me because Ryukishi expected that we would stream this at some point, and he is tickling my childhood instilled need for attention and recognition.
I mean, yeah, you can have it. I'm not in the mood to read lines anyway, but it's still confusing who the actual narrator is.
I think when it's future Takano, it's a third person omniscient. Yeah, something like that. By the way, Dark Lord, you just reminded me of something. Hey Tifa, who do you think the two voices in the space between the worlds with the fragments are? Because could it be that the beginning of chapter 7 is at the end of chapter 7 in linear time? What if the two fragments are the hosts of a queen carrier?
I think it's just one fragment.
To me, it's one
Talking to
fragment.
us.
It's two. But there's two entities.
I think we are the entity.
But there's one entity, and it's talking to somebody who it called their sister.
Yeah, which I think is us.
Thinking
It
maybe
recognized us as a different entity.
is it a queen carrier and every fragment? Yeah, but I was thinking, what if that first voice is like a fragment of Rika or Oyashiro-sama, and then the second one comes into existence because every time Takano, I assume, receives the queen carrier, she also taps into that otherworldly power, and eventually that feeling when they say fragment, not kakara. I'm sorry, I'm uncultured. But probably not, yeah. Random thought. She was sitting slightly further away from the men. They were clearly in a much more important position than she was. See, that's why you cannot see where she would sit. One of the men wearing an expensive double-breasted suit told Takano not to be so nervous. Hot take, aren't most women's clothing usually double-breasted?
I don't even know what that means.
Me neither, I was trying to make a joke.
Well, it didn't work.
Because the average woman has two breasts.
I don't even know what the... I mean, nice try, but...
This is what it must feel like when you are performing at like a comedy club and you are on stage and you say something and then you realize people are getting up and leave. Not even that they don't laugh.
Now that I
just-
think about it, it's not a bad joke.
It's too late to... No. I guess a rope folded twice over the chest. Yes.
Okay. Please relax, Takano-san. What we read is very interesting to us. Can't believe this research was just sitting there for dozens of years.
It is surprising. I thought most of the research on BC weapons the Japanese military conducted during the war failed to bear fruit. Nothing was left after the US military confiscated even the fundamental research.
I heard this research was barely even glanced at by the top brass.
I should have gone to the copper. Hey, elements.
I see. So that's why nobody knew about it and GHQ didn't investigate it. In that sense, at least it was truly fortunate.
Interesting that Dr. Takano's research would be succeeded by a different Takano-san. I suppose that's fate. It's like the deceased is using your body to complete his life's work.
It's often how children work.
Asshole.
Maybe that's true. I feel a mysterious connection to him too.
Imagine sitting in front of somebody with the same last name as the guy you're talking about and not first thing, are you related?
Yeah, but these people probably knew him.
Takano adored Takano Hifumi and called him grandfather, but she hadn't revealed that relationship to others. She realized it wouldn't be beneficial for people to think she was involving personal feelings in her continuing Dr. Takano's research.
Oh, see, then it makes sense.
So publicly, she once had exchanges with Takano Hifumi, and after his death discovered his research documents with his remains and chose to carry it on. At least that's how the story went.
Well then. What do you think? The defense agency was very interested.
Very impressive.
I thought it said impressed.
It didn't.
According to Nakagawa-kun, the defense agency's Technical Research and Development Institute showed great interest. They offered to sponsor the research too.
Oh, that's wonderful. Congratulations, Takano-san.
Thank you very much. Here's what they said. There's a research council for next generation deterrence being led by experts from several different ministries. One of those is called the Alphabet Project. Have you heard of it, Takano-san?
There was no way she would know about something like that. But it was very possible for those nationalists to research something dangerous without citizens knowing about it. Society forms something like a web made of connections between people. People hold hands with other people who share the same ideas and end up knitting a net. Everybody please join me with your hands and let's together knit a web.
That was very dramatic.
Of course, some nets are well known, but there are some secret ones too. So there was no way of guessing just how the men at this meeting were connected. Hand-holding! Consensual hand-holding for the purpose of recreation.
Can't take it too far here, can we?
I'm very happy right now that Tifa didn't listen to a word I just said. I know you didn't, because otherwise you would react.
Is that consensual hand holding?
And after that?
Well, that I didn't hear.
How did I know? How did I know? A society involving research into deterrent weapons for the next generation. The Alphabet Project. With those words, it was possible to imagine what that might entail. Books? Deterrent weapons. Usually refers to nuclear technology. Weapons are normally used to destroy enemies. However, the general idea of deterrent weapons is very different. The assumption is that they won't actually be used against anyone. Nuclear weapons are largely used as a threat to prevent enemy invasion. Both the US and Soviets possess large stockpiles of nuclear arms, keeping each other in check. But they will never actually use them. Because if they did, there'd be a nuclear war and both countries would be destroyed, and everything in between would probably do. So, like a legendary weapon, you never draw. Of course, that last resort only works because both sides have nuclear weapons. If one side lacks them, then they lose all military negotiation power. In other words, nations without nukes are powerless before nuclear-armed states.
That can't be true. Japan abandoned nukes and it still functions as a nation today. Or
so some people may be thinking. But they're wrong. I knew it. Mutually assured destruction theory. Indeed. It's mad. Japan abandoned nukes but lies under the nuclear umbrella by allying itself with America. That means the nation functions thanks to America's nukes. However, that also means we must resign ourselves to forever being a vassal of America. In order for Japan to escape that and become a powerful nation equal to America, it must possess its own deterrence arms and step out of that nuclear umbrella. That society must have been put together by experts who believe in that ideal. Given that, even the name Alphabet Project makes sense. Nuclear weapons are weapons of mass destruction. However, weapons of mass destruction aren't always nuclear. They also include biological weapons and chemical weapons. Atomic, biological, chemical, the initials of these three words make up ABC. That's why weapons of mass destruction are sometimes called ABC weapons. I won't go into weapons of mass destruction that don't belong to these three categories. Thank you, Ryokishi. ABC. Alphabet. In other words, Alphabet Project must be a code for research into weapons of mass destruction. As it happens, this guess of Takano's was correct.
by rights, Japan should possess nuclear arms. We established ourselves as a peace-loving nation after the war, and after our vast international contributions, we've been recognized as a permanent member of the UN. Yet, until we possess nuclear arms, we won't be recognized as a proper nation.
By whom?
I always look down on countries without nuclear arms.
Exactly. Do people who think this actually believe that at any given point everywhere else in the world there's a huge amount of people thinking, nah, you know, I really would love to go to Japan, but they're not a proper country. They don't have nukes.
But don't forget, this is a group that cares about status and power. And what is the ultimate power?
Yeah, no, I hear you, but that's just another point where I'm thinking people who think like this are dumb.
This is the long-held desire of post-war Japan.
Exactly. However, realistically, thanks to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, the major nations hold a monopoly on nukes. Worse, our domestic public opinion is growing allergic to nukes, so foreign and domestic pressures make implementing them impossible. The new Japanese constitution is forbidden for declaring war or having a standing army either. Yeah, that's why they have a Japanese self-defense force. It's totally not an army.
It's different. Biological and chemical weapons are something known as the poor man's nuke. Small countries that can't own nuclear weapons have already started research into that kind of weaponry.
Yeah, and the big ones have too, so it's always an arms race. Takano-san, please don't misunderstand us, okay? The purpose of our research isn't to obtain a biological weapon. Instead, our goal is to prevent such... It's the sake speaking. Instead, our goal is to prevent such weapons from coming into Japan from other countries.
Sure doesn't sound like it.
So this is research into self-defense. I want you to understand that. So also 4 years after 3 Mile Island. That was where they did nuclear tests, right? At the Bikini Atoll?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm aware of that.
Takano hated this Japanese tendency to make excuses, but she didn't let it show on her face. No matter what they said, they already saw the value in using this research toward biological weaponry. However, in truth, that was just an excuse as well. If they actually wanted to research biological weapons, then it would be much faster to research diseases like smallpox and anthrax instead of an unidentified disease like Hinamizawa syndrome. It's really sweet that you try to get all the cats in stream, but thank you. 3 Mile Island was off the coast of New York and nearly had a meltdown. It scared tons of people away from nuclear power.
As it should.
Wait, that was a nuclear power plant, right?
If not handled, it could have been the American Chernobyl.
So it was a power plant. Thank you.
These things should never have been invented.
Well, I don't have a problem with nuclear power per se. I have an issue with not safeguarding it properly and then not storing it properly. Which you could do, it's just a lot of times in history it has been done shittily. Come on, nuclear is not the same as what is it? That's what I'm saying. It could be done in a way that I wouldn't have an issue with. But
humans can't be trusted with something like this.
I work for a company and I've seen other companies and I know of other companies, and if you tell some pencil pusher, oh, if we just use the lesser lining of these caskets, then it's gonna be cheaper, but it should still be fine. He's probably gonna go for a cheaper option. Concrete caskets of our waste already exist and are perfectly fine. Then we should use those. But we shouldn't have meltdowns happening. Thorium reactors, not usable for weapons, are already researched. Oh shit, I didn't know it. So it wasn't actually correct to say that the defense agency was interested in it as a biological weapon. In other words, Takano needed a powerful sponsor who could back her up with funding, personnel and a facility to conduct her research. So she used her connections and turned to the old man behind the government and economy, reaching out to each of them and getting them to forcibly pull funding out of the defense agency under the excuse of its application toward biological weaponry. That was the truth. Therefore, her project wasn't officially recognized by the defense agency. To be exact, the people who secretly controlled the defense agency were the ones who knew about it. These masterminds diverted funding from the defense agency to the Alphabet project. And then they pushed for Takano's research to be a part of it. Takano gets her funding and the influencers get to drain public funds through kickbacks. Considering that it was doubtful this project was genuinely about researching the next generation of deterrence arms, it was probably just an excuse for the masterminds to funnel money into their own pockets. Well, those complicated matters didn't. It does say matter twice. Well, those complicated matters didn't matter to Takano. Whatever those old men and influencers were planning wasn't her business. As long as she could get her funding for her research, that was enough. Either way, Takano had found her sponsor. It was one of the biggest organizations around too. This had always been her grandfather's dream. Takano was trying to stay calm, but she was about to jump up and down in excitement. Didn't we just have this conversation?
No, that was a one-time sponsor thing. And this is an actual organization backing you up, not just one person.
A weapon to surpass Metal Gear. Massive Metal Gear vibes. Yes. Also a lot of the same verbiage.
Today it feels like the weapon used against me is text.
Can we just go back to the children in Hinamizawa trying to fight fate? I didn't sign up for this.
Nakagawa-kun says that once the research gets underway, he doesn't mind buying it out. Although it's still incomplete, he definitely sees potential in it. You're absolutely right. This research is only halfway complete. Sufficient funding, facilities and personnel will be indispensable.
Too late! It's Takano time! About that. Here's where the negotiations start, but apparently they wish to take on this research in its entirety. I feel bad saying this, but they think the burden is too much for you to bear alone. Hearing that put quite the damper on Takano's ecstasy. And that's why they involve the Irie clinic and Irie, and that's why she has a negative predisposition towards him.
Did I just miss something? Because this seems like a positive thing.
No, they do want to put money into it, but they believe she isn't capable of doing this by herself. So they will help her, and that like means they will influence it.
Like that, okay. I'm not trying to make money off of this. I'm working as a researcher purely out of intellectual curiosity. What I need is a sponsor, and what they seek are results. That was the relationship I had hoped to establish.
Takano realized she was talking rather breathlessly, so she tried to calm herself down. Either way, they'd be backing the research. Considering they're hoping for results that merit the budget, they probably feel that Takano is still too young to handle it.
So they get another young researcher, Irie.
I would imagine they try to find older ones, because you can't be doing your job right if you're younger than me. And then they realize they're 80 and good luck finding somebody. And in the end, they settle for Irie. Just a hunch.
I know. You've been working on this for a long time and you don't want anyone to just grab it from you, right? I totally understand that.
But that's what's gonna happen.
Of course, we've already informed them. So here's the compromise we came up with.
On your behalf. First, we'll start your research as an offshoot of the Alphabet project. Once you have a board of directors approval, you'll be given official funding. We'll have you participate in the project as an associate researcher, and you'll take part in the research that way. If she wanted their funding, she'd have to fall under their authority, of course. So far, she had no objections.
However, the Research Society has listed a few conditions in exchange for funding this project.
You must dress up as a nurse in a cute/sexy nurse outfit that we choose.
First, as was just mentioned, it is to entrust the position of lead researcher to an individual that's skilled and talented in this field of research.
That's such an asshole move.
I hate to interject, but who would be more knowledgeable about this than me? Other than the late Dr. Takano, of course.
No. Please, calm down, Takano-san. I understand how you feel.
Stop overreacting, woman!
A woman displaying emotions. Oh no, she has the vapors.
Calm down.
No. She's being hysterical. Wait a minute, she's being hysterical.
Still, how is this any different from selling my research to this individual? This isn't what we discussed at all.
Calm down, Takano-san. Disgusting. Those cunning old men didn't miss sight of a faint leak of anger that crossed Takano's expression. They gave evasive laughs, as if remarking how immature she still was if she let her emotions show over such a little thing. This is Tifa's rage baiting me. It's the same thing. She says some wild shit to get under my skin. I go, that's dumb. Ha! Why does it affect you? Her laugh confirms it.
No, but I can definitely rage bait.
This is trolling 101, people. The smartest thing you can do is to just not take the bait. Take the hook out of your mouth and return it to sender. However, they weren't laughing to look down on Takano. On the contrary, they were trying to tell her to wait until the end.
Of course, we'll make sure you get your way. Koizumi-sensei told me to take good care of you. Do you think I would just ignore you after he told me that? Don't worry. Please let me work things out. I'll make sure you'll be happy. What do you mean?
This sounds like some weird sex thing is gonna happen. I hate it.
You see, I get to select the person in charge. I will pick a wonderful husband for you.
Yeah. Somebody who can control your hysteric antics, woman! Everyone chortled except Takano. After a moment, she joined in.
What's a chort? I don't know what the chortle is.
Where you really like almost like oinking like a pig.
Oh no.
Like full throaty. In other words, he meant that he would find just the right person.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other words to that.
Thanks, Ryokishi. I didn't get it the first time around. The defense agency had suggested finding an expert to lead the project because they didn't feel comfortable with just Takano. However, Takano's sponsor was the one tasked to find such a person. In that moment, Takano realized it. How wonderful it is to have such a powerful backer.
Let me work it out. I'll find some candidates for you. All you have to do is pick the one you think would be the most suitable.
Yeah, as a puppet, basically. Takano felt better after hearing that. Well, if she wouldn't be the official head of a project, she would end up leading it from the shadows. Of course, she wasn't an expert per se. Having a partner would actually be beneficial.
Give me some time to talk to the other end. I'll make sure you'll be happy with the outcome. Please, just be patient for a while. What's that song called? I've got friends on the other side.
That's from the Frog Prince thing? With Disney movie.
The Frog Princess, yeah, but I forgot the beat to that song.
I don't know, but...
But you know which one I mean, right? That was the best song.
I like the song. It's the only song I like from that movie.
Same.
And I cannot remember the melody right now.
I see the entire scene playing...
I've got friends on the other side.
I see the entire scene play in my head, but I cannot pinpoint the beat to it. I understand. Thank you for everything.
No, by the way, it's not just the defense agency. Nagata-kun from the Ministry of Health and Welfare is willing to help you too. He introduced me to Ito-kun from the National Institute of Infectious Diseases. He is willing to help you with equipment and other technology.
Really? Thank you so much.
This is a national project, isn't it? Congratulations, Takano-san. This is all because of your effort and the deceased Dr. Takano's hard work.
Oh no, this is all because of Dr. Takano. I haven't done anything yet. Being humble is a good virtue.
It will make you a good wife one day.
Just like Koizumi-sensei told me, you truly are a nice person, aren't you?
The nicest.
No wonder he adores you.
Anyway, they want you to join the defense agency. Luckily, you have a doctor's license, right? We'll secure your position as a medical officer of a TRDI. Tardy.
Do you mean I'll be a public servant? I wasn't expecting that.
No, the organizations that are involved with the Alphabet Project are public institutions. The SDF is actually interested in this research as well, and they're making a strong request to dispatch some of their personnel too. So, depending on the circumstances, you may be treated as an SDF member.
Well, just think of those matters as officials squabbling over jurisdiction.
That's gonna be Tomitake.
So to stand above those officials, you'll need your own official position. No matter what, we'll make sure you'll be happy. So please don't worry about anything.
Real quick, before we set you up, what do you prefer, dogs or cats? And what do you prefer, the sea or mountains? Mountain dogs?
Oh,
They need to have a
Sea
name
cats.
somehow.
I understand. I understand. I'll let you work things out. But knowing Dr. Takano's research was once rejected by the old Japanese military, it's hard to believe that the Self-Defense Force is interested in it now.
Well, that couldn't be stopped. With the war situation worsening, the Japanese military sought something with immediate effect, something that could turn the war around. I don't think they were looking down on Dr. Takano's research. Sea cats doesn't have the same ring to it. Yeah.
Sea cats sound so much scarier.
Or go an extra step beyond sea cats, beach pussies. That wasn't true, of course. Takano already heard that confession from the old man. She exhaled. To her, it was like the meeting in front of her was happening somewhere far away. Tifa, how does that feel? That's been you the entire chapter so far, I want to say.
Basically, yeah.
She had longed for this day to come and worked so hard to reach it. Finally, her grandfather and his research were attaining recognition. This was the day she had dreamed of. So she was frightened just imagining that it might be an actual dream. True joy can't be felt all at once. Oftentimes it's a delayed reaction. Takano thought that must be exactly what she was feeling. Sea cat? You mean some kind of umineko? Wait, for real? Holy shit! Umi means sea, I didn't know that. Neko is cat, that I knew.
Oh, that is quite funny, actually.
Wait, the Japanese word for seagull translate to sea cat? Okay. That. The call of Umineko sounds kind of like a cat. Oh, that was entirely not intentional. Yes, Psycho. Yes.
Totally was.
Psycho made a typo. That wasn't entirely not intentional. We 69D chessed this one to make it happen. A black-tipped gull. Okay.
I imagine you'll probably be given a field officer's rank. Since you'll be second in command, you'll likely be a mayor.
No, Tifa, no.
You'll likely be a major?
Yes. She's not gonna run a town.
Oh, yeah,
That's
sure.
wonderful!
I was gonna say that's a word, but yeah.
Yeah, you could also have said, oh, you're gonna be a mayonnaise. Still not the right word. That's wonderful! Major Takano, huh? I'm a little jealous. As a man, I wish I had a rank like that. Boy, oh boy, Major Takano, huh? Mm-hmm.
A major? What does that signify?
Well, it's reasonably high in the rank system of the self-defense forces. It's like a sub-manager at a company, I guess. Sub-manager, also a great title for somebody that makes sandwiches.
It's also the one that gets shit on by anyone.
Yeah, of course. That will be your rank once the project gets underway.
It's equivalent to a lieutenant commander in the old Japanese military. What a coincidence! Dr. Takano was also a lieutenant commander in the old military.
Takano remembered suddenly. They were right. Her grandfather had been a lieutenant commander in the Japanese military. Everything she had done until today was so she could continue her grandfather's research. Now everything had fallen into place. She had even been granted the same rank as her grandfather. She had always believed that succeeding his research would be proof that they had a bond tighter than blood. And now she would even be the same rank as him. This is fate, Takano thought. Maybe this is even a message from Grandpa? Yes, it must have been a shout of encouragement from heaven. It was proof that she inherited not only his research, but his will as well. Also, if his rank was major... I had a reference in mind, but it doesn't work. Takano couldn't help but feel a sense of destiny for attaining the rank of major.
Grandpa, I'm finally here.
Nobody else could hear her say that, but her grandfather in heaven could. That's what Takano believed. She had only come so far. There were still a lot of things to do for this research to be recognized as a great work. Otherwise her grandfather won't become a god. She wouldn't become one either. Out of context, if you just come into the stream and you see this, you're like, what the fuck?
Why?
Higurashi is a story about trying to become a god. It technically is.
You must become a god.
That was in her grandfather's will.
I was unable to do so.
That line preceded it. It was her grandfather's dying wish. Her grandfather entrusted it to her. All of his research. A god can't be physically brought back to life. A god is made in the hearts of the people who remain alive. Her grandfather will live on in her heart. His exploits will be known to many, and all the scholars will fight to read his documents, to steal them from each other. And they will learn about Hifumi Takano, who began his research during the war. They will know that nobody understood him, and that he ended up devoting his lonely life to this research. And finally, they will extol his grand achievement.
That's sweet.
And I will be as a god unto you.
I wonder where it all went wrong.
Where did it go right, Tifa?
Well, as of right now, it's still fine.
No tips? Takano doesn't deserve tips.
So at some point, she must... Well, no, but nothing says about losing her way. She's probably already she's already in the by all means necessary sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's just nothing yet to show her cray-cray.
Well, yes.
Besides the actual research.
The fact that she's doing these things with these people is kind of, the path is kind of clear. In case you weren't aware after the first 7 chapters. Part of me does want to continue here. Because I hated this chapter. Sorry, I mean it says chapter on the screen too. I hated this episode. I didn't care for it. I didn't need to know all of this. I feel like her having all of this power somehow, that's good enough for me. I don't need to know why or where she got the money from. So part of me does want to continue at least into the beginning of the next episode. But hopefully it's not going to be any of this. So to not leave it on a cliffhanger for 2 weeks when Tifa abandons us for one and then we're both gone for a week after that, I think it's fair to cut it here.
I think so too. Plus I've been extremely low energy now.
We couldn't tell, Tifa.
I'm really sorry.
You better be. It's funny. Let's be real here. I gave Tifa shit during the first break for her lack of energy. As I was doing this...
Well, it didn't get better.
Yeah, of course it didn't get better. Telling somebody you're really low energy doesn't give them energy. It's not like I expected that to happen. Don't worry.
Shocking.
But funnily enough, you already being... because of how the day went, low energy going into it, I felt completely matched the matter of fact. This could have been 2 lines energy of this whole episode.
Yeah, but that's kind of what it was.
Takano, after having a tragic youth, got in with a crowd that her grandfather was around, and through their connections to Tokyo, the organization, not the city of the official government, was able to secure the funding and got into a position where we meet her in the first 7 chapters. Done. This entire meeting could have been an email, Ryokishi.
Ruben, welcome in. How are you doing?
Welcome in.
And I understand that it's relevant lore. It gives you all of the backstory.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm just not feeling it at the moment. Plus, I also really hate political topics. I also hate war topics. I don't read about it. I don't read about it in my fictional books either. Those are books I completely ignore if I learn it is about war or it has anything to do about war. And then the entire chapter is about that.
That's why she hates Star Wars.
Yeah, basically. It's not an interest of me. I understand it's necessary, but I have a hard time getting into this part.
Despite my qualms with this entire episode, I gotta say it is relevant lore, and I understand
I get where it's coming from.
If you want to know why did Takano turn out the way she did, then episodes 1 and 2 of chapter 8 are amazing for you. I didn't need that. I didn't need that. Did I want an answer to why is Takano doing these things? Yes, I do. Now I have some inkling of why she's doing this. Assuming there's not going to be another big plot twist when it's been spelled out to us. She wants to become a god with her grandfather because of what she's been through. I would have been fine with just the first part, where she was raised by her eccentric grandfather. She lost her parents at a young age. She had a rough childhood, and she ended up in this really fucked up orphanage. Would have been okay.
Yeah, but
I would have taken this and I was like, okay, and she used that energy, that motivation to get into this position.
But that's not everything you would need to know, because to actually get to an answer, understand, you also need to know how did Takano get to this? How did this research even come into existence? How did Tokyo get involved? How did we get to the whole thing? And for that you do need the background. Because otherwise they're unanswered questions that you leave out in the open.
Yeah.
So I understand it.
This could very well be a case of, I don't know, I cannot look it up because spoilers probably, of Ryukishi writing the story backwards. Like, this is where my character, this is the scene. This is the nucleus of a story. Takano executing the 6 children in the forest. And now I need to go backwards. Why is Takano in this situation? Because she's the leader of the mountain dogs? Yes. Why is she that? Why is she interested? Because of her grandfather. Her grandfather alone isn't enough to explain why she is this psychotic piece of shit. So we need to go back. What could have influenced that? She had a shitty childhood. She went through this horrible fucked up stuff at the orphanage. She used that to get into this position. Yeah, there's probably at least one more episode at some point about how this connects and what happened after she ran away from the orphanage.
Yeah, but funnily enough,
Takano?
That is a bit that I was interested in. But the way it was written, and I'm really sorry, could not bring me into it. Especially when they started repeating the House of Love and Mercy 20 times in every line. Then I'm just like, okay, let's get this over with. Skip. But that bit I actually did find interesting, but the way it was written didn't bring me into it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know. So far, the beginning of chapter 8 isn't for me.
I don't know if it's a Ryukishi thing or a translator thing, but sometimes they keep reusing the same word or phrase over and the love of house and the house of love and mercy, the house of love and mercy, the house of love and mercy, the other orphanage. There. You don't need to say the same thing every single time.
They do that in almost every chapter. Now it just felt extra, and I understand. I'm quite sure it has to do with the fact that you can just save at every line. Because if I would save after the first line where they mention the love of House of Mercy, and I come back to it for a week, and then I start at the line like they do this and this, then you might be like, who's they?
The child consultations.
Exactly. So
yes.
I can understand why they have to repeat this thing.
No, why don't have to, why
they want to repeat these things. I fully get it. But if you are in a flow, it just throws you off.
Yeah. It also makes it hard to read for me. I understood why at some point Tifa went like them, her, it, she, because it feels more natural.
It doesn't help that I'm also not smart and then they throw out all of the big words.
Yeah, you had to do some big ones. I remember. Ryukishi follows amazing writing as 10 seasons within themselves. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Is it the same in the original Japanese text? Because I can't read Japanese, I cannot go check. It could also be a translator thing. I don't know. Unless Ryukishi translated the game himself. I don't know about that. For example, last chapter, I didn't need to hear them say the Hinamizawa slogan at full every single time. Yes.
Yeah, all in all, the story itself is amazing.
Yeah.
It's just these little things which, especially for a visual novel, sometimes just takes me out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And after a day like today where I'm just completely drained and dead, I can't handle that very well.
It doesn't make it easier to pick up. One is hurt, two come at them.
Yeah, but then they say the entire thing. Like, if you just only say that, like, we know what's coming at this point.
Are you saying you haven't heard The Legend of Oyashiro-sama?
Yes, and then the repeat of that every single time.
Are you guys talking about bees? According to all known laws of aviation, there's no way a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground. The bee, of course, flies anyway, because bees don't care what humans think is impossible. It has nothing to do with a conversation, but at one point I said every time that is being used, I have to read it. It's a law. It must happen. Talk to your friends! Yes! This town is a part of us all. A part of us all. A part... I was gonna say, you can take the boy out of Hinamizawa, but you can't take the Hinamizawa out of a boy. But you can't, because if you take the boy out of Hinamizawa, he'll die. Hinamizawa syndrome and all that.
Oh, I get it. The boy is a metaphor for Parasite.
No.
Who is hiding underneath the table.
Oh, there's a platypus controlling me. It's underneath the table. I never forced you to. No, I did. I did that to myself.
He put it in his mind that he cannot not say those lines for some reason.
Yeah, I mean...
Don't know where it came from.
Literally, all of you could tell me to do something. If I don't want to, I'm not gonna do it. But if I say I'll read this every single time, I have to. Legally. Indeed.
That is the best episode.
Phineas
and
Ferb.
Ferb.
Phineas and Ferb. Indeed. It's true.
And be sure to read Beaglesaurus. Indeed.
Maybe there's a platypus controlling you in that as well.
We're all controlled by platypus.
A platypus? A penny for platypus! The political stuff I don't care about, but the personal stuff of Takano is my favorite part of the art. Yeah,
that I am with you. I do care about Takano's background, and it just sucks that it is heavily involved in the political part, because that I don't care about. But I do want to learn about her background. Do I care about redeeming her, or for a redemption? No, not really.
Yeah, that was my, I guess you could say, underlying issue in the first episode. I feel bad for young Takano that she went through all of this, that she grew up like this. I feel super bad for her, I understand why she turned out the way she did. But at some point in your life, you're responsible for your own choices. I understand why you are more inclined to go either way, but at some point, when you're standing there and you're holding a gun at 6 children,
yeah,
you could ask yourself, is it worth it?
They can be part of the godhood.
Cool motive, still murder. I think that's a reference, I don't get it, but yes, that's what it boils down to. You have all my understanding for why you came to be in this situation, in this moment in time. But you're the one pulling the trigger. That's not your grandfather, that's not Tokyo, that's nobody. You are the one getting out of the car, you are the one that shot Keiichi. You're the one that then executed all the others. You're the one that decided to cut her open. I think Ryukishi will do well to write Takano amazingly to not cheapen her character. He has let us down in 7 chapters so far. Yes, every character deserves to be written well. With Takano or any villain type character like this, I always have this. This is not like a Higurashi thing for me. When they go, now you hate this character, but here's why they turn out this way. I'm like, yeah, but I still fucking hate him. They're still a piece of shit, you know?
Yeah.
You have my sympathies. Life fucked you over as well, but you continue the trend.
Well, I have loved Takano from the start.
That is true, unfortunately.
I felt some connection to her in
Tifa
some
has
ways
done
on how we think. Did I expect her to be the mass murderer that she turned out to be in Chapter 7? No.
I did. I want to repeat that. I want to remind everybody, because we looked at the predictions the other day, I called that shit.
Yeah, you did. You did.
I looked at her and I thought, nah, she crazy. That wasn't a Jack moment. For once, I got one.
For once, it was not. For once. Just this once.
It's always just once for me.
I think cool motive, still murder is relevant to all the characters of the main cast in Higurashi.
Yeah.
In a way, yes. But here, I guess we can argue the semantics, because if it's a parasite that makes you do it.
Okay, but
is it still cool motive, still murder?
Is it though?
If it is.
I want to say
you are sick.
Best girl Satoko was L5. The highest stage possible before going terminal. She never killed nobody.
You don't know what happened when she was L5.
As far as the story we witnessed so far goes, she never killed anybody.
She got contained, she got meds. You can't put that on Satoko.
Just saying. Satoko shoved Keiichi off a bridge. Yes, because he stood there with a weapon and he was being suspicious as all hell. True,
but it's still Satoko didn't kill anyone. That doesn't really work. Keiichi lived.
I see what you're saying, Darklord. That could have been Hinamizawa syndrome. I take it as self-defense. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think that was the syndrome too.
I could have aided in her doing that, but beyond that.
But still.
In episode 3 of Takano having Tomitake's bike in the back, it was a dead giveaway.
I should have. I didn't find it suspicious, honestly.
She didn't know that he lived. Yeah, but it's still... Yes, correct. But I wouldn't have cared in her stead either. You stand there with a weapon and you're hiding it from me. You are being weird as hell. Our friend just died. And I think because of how you're acting, you're doing this to me. And we're here alone and you keep calling me. You come closer to me despite me telling you not to.
Yeah, but anything you're saying doesn't matter because your statement was Satoko didn't kill anyone.
She never... Sorry. As far as I'm aware...
That was what you said. So it doesn't matter if it was self-defense or why she did it or he didn't listen or he killed someone. Everybody
understood that I was talking about through Hinamizawa syndrome, right? It's just Tifa arguing semantics, trying to rage bait me again. I'm getting chills when I saw Takano driving off Tomitake's bike in the last chapter and connecting the dots to chapter 3 when she picked up Keiichi. Yes.
Oh, I didn't. I still believed in Takano.
I didn't get chills, I was just angry. Just fuck Takano. I hate her so much. And the fact that you were like, oh no, Takano is fine. She's just interested in the weird and macabre. No!
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
Hell no. Hell no. This isn't I find it interesting how people are willing to go to these lengths to make all of these murder weapons for their religion here and all of that. And being like that. Takano was very clearly jumping over the fence from morbid curiosity, that's too much for some people, to, oh shit, I wish I could have done that. Exactly. I was, oh, that's what happened. I always thought she did something. For me, it was all just anger.
I did not.
Talking about things that make me angry, it's time to end the stream. But first...
Skinner.
This is a public medium. You could be aware that sometimes, very sometimes, Skinner does try to troll a little bit for funsies.
Was that not the segue we were going for?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not what I was going for. But as we are about to leave, let's go rate Skinner, who's doing something completely different. His stream title is Escape Room Simulator, and he is playing The Exit 8. I don't know anything about the game. It looks like he's walking down a hallway, and I'm pretty sure there's gonna be weird shit happening from the looks of it. So if you cannot stick around for the raid, please check out Skinner whenever is convenient for you. For example, by perusing this link. Or just copy and paste. Or look at the screen, take a screenshot, type it up later. Your call. Exit 8 is a game where you have to walk through a normal subway corridor. Sounds good.
It does look like that.
I'm sure that just like in Higurashi, nothing bad will ever happen. How is coming at the end? Time zones are evil, Ruben. They are evil and they should be abolished.
Absolutely.
100%.
So,
you will see Tifa again in about 2.5 weeks. You will see me again
fully recharged
on Friday. On Friday. I'll be back on Friday with a solo stream. I'm not quite sure what to play yet. It depends on when we need to get up Saturday morning. But I will be here on Friday. Unless a meteorite strike happens or anything like that. Just saying. I don't want it to happen, but you know. Can't always control everything.
I have plenty of work to catch up, so I will not be there on Friday, and I will say goodbye to all of you now and see you all soon.
Yes. And next week, all streams will be solo streams. That is also true. Indeed. Because Tifa is off to see family. Tifa, press the button. What button? What button? Thank you everybody for learning all the things about World War II that you didn't know you needed to know. Please stick around for the raid if you can. I'll see you all on Friday. Bye!
Thank you.